Betfair, Betfred, Coral, Ladbrokes, Paddy Power, Unibet and William Hill.
Good evening and welcome to the MODUS Super Series. It is the finals of week 2 here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Come the end of the evening, we'll be etching our second name in the Champions Week Roll of Honour. And joining us this evening for the Bonfire Bonanza here at the Super Series for one final time this week is a very good evening to Corinne Hammond.
Oh, Henry, happy to be here. Thank you. I can't believe that we were 5 seconds in. You're already using a pun.
And what a night we've got as well, because we've got some fantastic players on the show, and the bookmakers really cannot split the field. We've got three players, joint favourites to win the night.
Really? And who are those three?
So Jared Cole, Neil Duff, Graham Hall, all joint favourites with the bookmakers at 11-4 to win the night. That is how tight tonight is.
Yeah, and you know what? I've just got this funny feeling that Robert Rickwood is going to see himself in the final tonight. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a fourth one.
There is plenty of runners and riders this evening. Let's see how the players got here then over the course of the week by looking back at the week 2 highlights. We began on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday with the beginning of Group A, and Jared Cole was the first player to book his place into the finals. He had to beat Neil Duff by 4 legs to 1, and he did exactly that.
Well, that just shows the kind of player that Jared is. Knows what he needs to do to get the job done.
He did what he needed to do, as did Graham Hall. He progressed his way through Group C. He's played the 5 morning sessions, a nighttime session for him, but he steadily got better as the week progressed.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, Henry. He did seem to get better as he went along and carved his way through to the finals. So he's here to play in finals night, and I'm sure he wants to show us all exactly what he can do.
If there's one word to describe Sam Cankett this week, consistent would probably be the word.
Yeah, that would be true too, Henry. I can't disagree with you there.
And double 19 was the MO for Robert Rickwood throughout the duration of last night. The first ever player to win 3 legs in a match at the Super Series on double 19.
Yeah, I think we coined it the Rickwood special last night.
And it was a very special performance against Mike Ginnett. All laughs, all smiles in the end there. Neil Duff is another player who made his way through, the reigning WDF World Champion. And he said to me earlier on this evening, he's going to bring the A game tonight.
Oh, that'd be great, because I don't really think we have seen Neil's A game just quite yet. So I hope all the players bring their A game tonight so we can be treated to a real special here on finals night.
Well, we call the double 19s the Robert Rickwood special. Well, the big fish has been the Alexander Merkx special. On debut this week here at the Super Series, he's provided 2 of them. And it's just felt, Corinne, that as the week's gone on, he has got better day upon day.
Yeah, that's true. He was playing really well, but then I think once he learned that he had progressed through to finals night, the adrenaline stopped and he wasn't playing with the same kind of tenacity that he had been playing with beforehand, so his performance kind of dropped off a bit, but maybe he was just saving himself for tonight.
Maybe he is. Well, that is how the players got to this evening's finale. Let's have a look then at the groups for tonight's session. Split into 2 groups, are 6 players, 2 pools of 3. The top 2 will progress through to the semi-finals, where from there it's going to be a straight knockout. Remember, only the winner of tonight will progress their way through to Champions Week. We spoke about Group 1 at the end of last night's programme, and you just get the sense that's going to be real fine margins in that one. Hard to kind of pick them apart. 2 of the 3 joint favourites in that group.
Yeah, I mean, both groups are tough, Henry. There's no clear winners in any of them. But as I said, I just have this gut feeling that Robert Rickwood's going to make his way to the final. I'm not saying that he's going to win, but I just have this feeling he's going to be in the final tonight.
Well, Corinne, we have got your favourite graphic of the week. Are you looking forward to it?
It must be the stats graphic.
It is the stats graphic. Let's have a look then at the averages for the week. As you can see there, Neil Duff leading the way on the averages, 87.22 over 139 legs of play. What do you kind of pick out from there?
I mean, there's not really a lot between them all. You really could just flip a coin tonight. I don't know. Yeah.
It'd be boring if you flipped a coin for it, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, it'd have to be a 6-sided coin, wouldn't it?
We need some tungsten tension going. That's what we need. Well, game one of our evening sees the first game of Group 1. It is Sam Cankett up against Jared Cole. We caught up with both players early on this evening, starting with the king of the castle himself. Jared, welcome to finals night, winner of Group A. How did you find the first 3 days?
Yeah, I mean, the group was a mixed bag. There was moments where it was really good, other moments where it was not to the standard I'd like to think I can produce, but yeah, overall, very happy. Obviously, top of the group is a good sign.
Couple of days off, have you used that to rest and recuperate?
Yes, definitely. It's nice to have 2 days to sort of recharge the batteries, so hopefully be fresh and ready to go today.
Big crowd expected this evening. You love playing in front of those big atmospheres, don't you?
Yeah, I love like the drama and the atmosphere of it all. I find that I thrive off it, and in the key moments, it normally goes my way if it's in those sort of scenarios. So hopefully tonight's no different, but we'll see.
We wish you well, Jared. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
So then, those are the pre-match thoughts of Jared Cole. What about his opponent, Sam Cankett? I also caught up with him early on this evening. Sam, welcome to your first finals night here at the Super Series. How have you reflected upon your 2 days of action in Group C?
Yeah, it's been good. I think my doubles are pretty good over the 2 days. Went a bit slow last night. Got a bit too comfortable, I think. Yeah, looking forward to it tonight.
It looked as if you're really consistent throughout your games over the first 2 days. Has that kind of been where you've been at the last few months or so?
No. I've actually surprised myself. I've come down here and my game's raised probably 10 points. Love the stage. It's nice and cool in there, so yeah, looking forward to it.
Looking forward to being in front of the fans tonight?
Yeah, can't wait.
Well, Sam, we wish you all the best tonight. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, the players have done their talking. It is time to toe the yockey here on Saturday night at the Super Series. Time to etch our second name into the Champions League Roll of Honour. Our referee for this evening is a legend of the game in Paul Hinks. And with it being bonfire night, we are going to see some fireworks, that is for sure, in the company of our commentary team of Corinne Hammond and Chris Murphy. Guys, it's going to be a cracker.
Thanks, Henry. Yes, welcome along to the action here on finals night. Thankfully, it's only bonfire night for a couple more hours, so I'll get all mine out of the way to start with, shall I? But let's hope this first one's a banger and see who can rocket their way through to Champions Week. Quite aptly, it's Jared Cole, although that's a different type of fire, isn't it, that you put Cole on? But Sam Cankett is his opponent for this opening match, and as you were saying upstairs with Henry, Corinne, it's very difficult to pick a winner out of the 6.
Yeah, I absolutely. Usually I'm quite decisive in being able to say this is who I think is going to win, but this one tonight, I really can't pick a winner. But as I said to Henry, I just have this gut feeling that Robert Rickwood's going to be in the final. Not saying that he's going to win it, but I just have this feeling that he's going to make himself there.
Well, watch out for Robert Rickwood, one of the senior stars. Jared Cole, very much one of the young stars of the Super Series at the moment, taking on a bit of an unknown quantity in Sam Cankett, who has had a decent week and said he'd surprised himself in that interview that he stuck a few points on his average and maybe feels he might be a bit of a stage player.
Yeah, that's very
46.
honest of him to say that he's come here and picked up his game, like by, putting 10 points or whatever on his average, because, most players, as you know, would be like, yeah, actually,
100.
I've not played my best. I've got far more in the tank. I'm going to do better. So, yeah, that is a quite honest reflection from him.
Yeah, you get a lot of players saying that they want to take their practice game onto the stage. It sounds like Sam is glad that he hasn't.
Yeah, it does sound that way. But, some people are more suited to stage play. They just love it. Once they get up there, they just feel natural and are able to produce. And that's a really great kind of thing to be able to do.
41.
Let's see who can produce on the all-important evening. Jared Cole should be on a finish, will be on a finish after 15 darts.
140.
A fairly slow start, just warming up.
59. Jared Cole, 52.
Double 16 to take the first leg.
Game shot on the
He would have had all the
leg.
time in the world. Cankett has not turned up on the big stage on finals night just yet. And Cole holds his throw in leg 1.
Second leg, Sam to throw first. Game on. $100.
Of course, today ended the PDC Pro Tour season. There's going to be a
100.
few chances for players to hold on to their tour cards, but there are quite a few names that might have one eye on playing at the Super
60.
Series next year.
Yeah, I've been saying for a while now, I think, well, not so much those that already have tour cards, but those that don't and have been
44.
thinking about going to Q School, maybe they might reconsider this with the opportunities that are being afforded here from the Super Series.
80.
And you look at Neil Duff, who's in action later this evening, obviously not a PDC player, but the WDF World Champion. Is down to play in the World Seniors Championship.
60.
Very much a regular fixture here. My understanding is that he's not intending to go to Q School.
91.
You might find that there are those that may go to Q School but not really want to get a tour card, just want to go to Q School so they can play Challenge Tour, they can still do the Super Series, they can still go here, they can go there,
Samuel Carr,
and really start
170.
to develop, or not so much develop, but improve their standard of play for a year or two and then go to Q School again
58.
to have a real crack at getting a tour card.
We've certainly seen the Super Series help players this year. Scott Williams, who's won the Challenge Tour, a regular fixture in it. Jan Van
100.
Veen reached the
Samuel
final
Carr,
yesterday after
112.
playing in this event recently. 112 on offer here, but it's not going to go. So Cole will get the chance to break as early as possible.
80. Jaladil Carr, 100.
A lovely first start.
Game shot on the
Well, it's
second
going
leg.
very, very well
Jared
for
Cole.
Jared Cole so far, but Sam Cankett, never mind putting 10 points on his average, he needs to stick 2 or 3 times that amount on.
Third leg, Janet to throw first.
And in these short
Game
format
on.
groups, you've been here many a Saturday night, it's very difficult to recover from a heavy defeat early, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
134.
I mean, not only is it a short playing format being best of 7 legs, but it's really tight now with the groups only having 3 in each. So you've only got those
40.
2 matches to get yourself through to the semi-final. So you don't have the luxury of kind of losing a match and being able to recover as you have done through the earlier sessions in the week.
87.
It's almost like a different tournament. Jared Cole, though, off to a flying start. 100 check out to break the throw.
140.
Cankett getting his first ton 40.
$140.
Cole has the answer and he wants 140 to
40. Jaladil Carr,
make it 3-0 and
140.
doesn't have to take it in this visit, maybe not even the next, possibly the one after that.
$100.
That first start was a long, long way away. I wonder if he did think about not even going for it.
Yeah, he probably just thought he
135.
can throw high,
Jaladil
then
Carr,
maybe slip
40.
another one in underneath it, because that's the thing with 140. Like, it becomes, yeah, it's a treacherous shot,
Game
really.
shot on the third leg. Jared Cole.
And there he goes with a 3-0 lead. He's jumped out to a racing start here, which is actually great to see, because sometimes you wonder how these players who have had the couple of days off are
Fourth
going
leg,
to
Sam to
be
throw first.
coming
Game
into
on.
the Saturday evening, but doesn't seem to have affected Jared at all.
There we see there the difference in standard between the pair. It is only
47.
3 legs, but there may only be one more. 20 points between them. A penny for the thoughts, really, of
59.
Sam Cankett, who has worked his way through to this finals night, surprised himself,
45.
and then suddenly got an unexpected bout of stage fright, seemingly.
140.
He said, actually, in the interview as well, another
97.
phrase he used was, "It's pretty cool out there." He doesn't look too cool, does he, now?
No, he looks like it's about 100 degrees up there.
58.
Like he's been stood next to a bonfire all evening.
Maybe that's where he was earlier, out watching the fireworks.
96.
Hopefully he was a bit more handy with the sparkler than he is with his darts so far tonight. But he's got time to improve. You can see him there just mopping his
140.
face. But Jared Cole might have mopped up the match in about 30 seconds' time.
140. Jared Yokar, 104.
Well, he adapts
Game,
and he
shot,
wins.
and a match.
Thought
Jared
he blocked the
Cole.
treble, so went for an open bed and finished a job. A 4-0 thumping of Wales' Sam Cankett, and he didn't even give him a dart at double. There you see, only 2 140s in the game. 4 from Jared Cole, 4 out of 6 on the doubles, 104 the high checkout. Really strong stuff from him, but that leaves Sam Cankett with an absolute mountain to climb here on finals night. When we return after the break, we will move into Group 2, and Alexander Merkx takes on Corin's tip for the title tonight, Robert Rickwood.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where it was a perfect start for Jared Cole. beating Sam Cankett by 4 legs to 0 in our opening game of the evening. Let's have a look then at the stats from our opening encounter of the evening. As you can see, a gap in the averages then. Jared Cole averaging 93.94 compared to Sam Cankett 76.5, and 4 out of 6 on the doubles as well, 66.67%, including those 2-ton plus checkouts. So Jared Cole now in a really, really good position to qualify for the semi-finals here at the Super Series. We're going to park Group 1 just for a second. We're going to begin Group 2 now, and it sees 2 players who progressed their way through Group B last night. Alexander Merkx has been with us since Monday. He's treated us to 2 170 checkouts up against Robert Rickwood, who played really well on Thursday and then had a perfect card on Friday. I caught up with both players early on this evening, beginning with Alexander the Great. Alex, finals night on your Super Series debut. How have you found the experience here so far?
Absolutely loved it, all of it. Kind of nerve-wracking in the beginning, but after a few days I went a bit more relaxed and felt quite good about it.
Do you feel you're getting better as the week's going on?
Yeah, I think so. First day was a good day, then I had a really bad day, and after that was pretty okay, I think.
Looking forward to getting out there in front of the crowd tonight?
Yeah, for sure.
And what do you think that's going to add to your game?
It's going to give me a lot of experience, because I'm not quite experienced in front of crowds, playing for crowds, but I hope it gives me something.
Well, we look forward to watching you tonight. Alexander, good luck.
Thank you very much.
So those were the pre-match thoughts of Alexander Merkx. What about his opponent, Robert Rickwood? He caught up with me earlier on this evening. So Robert, welcome to finals night here at the Super Series. How would you assess your week so far?
I think it's been a brilliant last couple of days. To get here, it's been amazing for me. You know, to get through last night, you know, with the players that were in it, were unbelievable. Like I said last night, third after the first night, and to win all my games last night, amazing.
You taking tonight every game as it comes?
You've got to, you know, yeah. You know, every game's a bonus now. If you win, brilliant. You know, you can't take your eye off the ball again.
And of course, you've got the crowd in here this evening. You looking forward to playing in front of that?
I am, yeah. See if I get echoed, booed.
I'm sure they won't.
No, I know they won't. I'm only having a bit of a laugh. No, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we look forward to watching you play, Robert. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
I can confirm the crowd are most definitely on Robert Rickwood's side this evening. He takes on Alexander Merkx in his opening game of the evening. Let's hand over to our commentary team to get Group 2 underway. It's Corinne Hammond and first, Chris Murphy.
Yes, thanks, Henry. Robert Rickwood, always a man with a smile on his face. Will he still be smiling at the end of the evening? Sure he will be if he pockets a cheque for £5,000. But Alexander Merkx, well, he is a player who's shown signs of what he can do this week. You mentioned those 2 170 checkouts. He has been a bit of a finder, winner of a group earlier this week. Robert Rickwood, a man who's won on the Challenge Tour, now playing on the Seniors Tour and hoping for his best result at the Super Series if he can get past Alexander
First
the
flag,
Great.
it's Alexander to throw first. Game on.
Speaking of greats, Paul Hinks just making sure the players are ready before he gets the game on. Corin, you said upstairs with Henry at the top of the show that you've got a feeling about Robert
One out of them,
Rickwood
40.
this evening. I'll give you the chance to embellish on that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but after his performance last night, as he was just saying, he came through and he won
1
4
out of
from
them,
4.
40.
He had some, you know, amazing checkouts. We talked about how he finished 3 out of 4 legs in one of his matches on double
60.
19 or whatever, but he just seemed to really be able to turn it on after losing a couple of matches on Thursday night, but came round and completely 180'd on his performance last night. So it's just, I don't know, he seems to have gotten better as the days have gone on. So I just have this gut feeling
97.
that he's going to make his way to the final. I'm not saying he's going to win, but I feel like he'll be there.
Yeah, seems to have a spring in his step. Don't think he's going to get heckled.
123.
A likeable character.
Look, he's left himself the opportunity
95.
here to go
Robbie
for his
O'Connor,
favoured
98.
38.
Is he doing it on purpose? What if he'd have gone for double top with that second dart?
58. Alexander Yukar, 109.
Actually, quite a few times last night when he was on 78, he went for double 19 to leave tops, which was a bit odd.
24.
Well, it is
Robert
tops.
your car 40.
To break in the opening leg.
Game
And he
shot on the
does that.
first leg. Robert Rickwood.
So we saw Jared Cole race off with a 4-0 win in Group 1 against Sam Cankett. Robert Rickwood with early signs here of doing something similar.
Second leg is
14 dart
Robert to
breaker
throw
throw.
first. Game on.
Although Merkx was in the leg at least, which is not something that Sam Cankett could say in many, if any, of the legs in that first match.
81.
No, he just really didn't seem to get going up there, and in such a short format, you know, you can't afford that. You need to be going from the
100.
offset.
Third meeting of the week, both of them in Group B. A 4-1 win for Merkx on Thursday night, but Rickwood got over the line 4-3 when they met on Friday.
60. $180.
First of those of the evening, first chance we've
140.
had to hear Paul
Royal
Hinks
car,
bellow out that
190.
famous call. Well, this is for a 12-dart leg. He's going for it.
83.
Not a bad miss in the end.
A happy accident to leave himself 36 there. It could have been a lot worse.
59. Robert your car 36.
I'll tell you what, you're looking like a bit of a genius right now, Corin, because this is a stunning performance so far. Mind you, you've got to hit the double. It can get a little bit ugly, can't it?
18.
Yeah, once you start
Alexander
chasing them
Carr,
around the board and you think
142.
you've got all the time in the world, and next thing you know...
68. Robert your car 18.
Straight for it. Well, Merkx
10.
went for the ball in the
Alexander
middle of that
Yukar,
shot. 82
74.
left with 2 darts. I don't think that's the right way to go, but he will get a dart at double top to level the
Being
match,
shot on
and
the
he does
second
level it.
leg.
Robert Rickwood was
Alexander
looking like
Merkx.
winning the first 2 legs in no time at all, but then missed about as many darts at double as it took him to get there.
Yeah, 7 missed starts in that leg there.
Third leg, Alexander to throw first. Game on. 60. 60. 60.
It will be interesting to see how Rickwood recovers from here, because having all those missed starts at a double is something that can actually play on your mind for quite a
45.
bit. And you can see now already he's not bringing the scoring that he has done in the first 2 legs.
Yeah, absolutely. He could have been in a similar position to
59.
Jared Cole in that first match, just not letting Merkx get into the game. And again, it's this format, this brutal format we have here at the Super Series, where every mistake is
60.
going to be punished, and it's going to be significant. And in these groups in particular, every leg is important.
41.
Especially if it gets to a point where everyone in the group has won a game and lost a game, and then it's the count back on the legs difference. And we actually have seen a couple of 9-dart shootouts
100.
to decide the semi-finalists in the last few weeks as well. And you don't really want to put yourself in that position that you've worked hard all week, or, you know, whatever, to then end
100.
up on a 9-dart shootout.
Yeah, one of which was tied between 2 players, wasn't it? We've had some great
Yeah.
drama. The other player in this group is Graham Hall, who has thrown some good stuff
100.
at the Super Series in the past, but it seems like a week where he's had to grow a little bit. Actually representing the ADC, one of the qualifiers through the amateur
95.
darts
Robert
circuit.
136.
This time looking to be the first to pocket the big prize.
46. Alexander Yukar 86.
May look could go somewhere near the double here. It was a bit of a safe shot, but he did get the dart at the ball. That's why he played it safe.
Merkx.
And Merkx, well, he's not messing around on the doubles. Even the bullseye, not a problem. 2 out of 2. And suddenly, from looking like being 2-0 down, he leads 2-1.
Fourth leg, Robert to throw first. Game on.
Neil Duff and Sam Cankett will play next. We know that if Duff wins, then that group is sealed and settled after just a couple of games.
90.
That's another thing, Corin, in this Super Series format.
100.
Every session, you're there for the entire session. You're playing match after match after match. We could see Sam Cankett tonight leave after 3 matches.
Yeah,
100.
yeah, exactly. It could be a really short night for him. So it will be interesting to see how he does do. I mean, it will be his second match. So he's already,
70.
you know, been afforded the opportunity to have one game up there, although it wasn't, you know, a very good game from him, but has been up there already. So should feel a little bit
93.
settled going to the second one. But, I mean, Neil has said he is bringing his A game tonight. So he could be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, it's your week's work. You mentioned losing it in a 9-dart shootout, but losing
117.
it in, what, half an hour, 40 minutes, that's a real devastating blow.
Yes, brutal.
134. Royal car 74.
Rickwood will have the first go at double here unless he has a big miss. He's okay there.
Game
And he's
shot on the
okay there
fourth
as
leg.
well.
Robert
Maybe just
Rickwood.
banishing those misses to the back of his mind, tying up this match at 2-2. It looks like Group 2 is going to be much closer than Group 1.
Fifth
Does
leg,
look
Alexander
that
to
way.
throw
We
first.
could end
Game
up with a
on.
9-dart shootout at the end of it.
57.
Yeah, for that to happen in any group, it's always the case that all 3 players need to win one match by the same scoreline. So, I mean, it could happen in Group 1, but it would involve
121.
Cankett beating Neil Duff 4-0 and then Duff beating Jared Cole 4-0.
Wouldn't that be
60.
an absolute turn of events? Because I can't see either match being like that. Not to say that, you know, those players aren't capable of beating the other one, but I just can't see another 2 4-0 scorelines.
If you were Sam, would you rather be having a little bit more time off and playing in the 3rd match in that group, or would you be impatient to get back
94.
on the stage as soon as possible and put it right?
I think I would prefer the break because I'd still be having a hard word with myself.
95.
We'll see if he can improve when he comes back. But right now, Robert Rickwood might be about to turn the tide in this one.
140. Robert your car
You'll
145.
think he's got 6 darts here. May only need 3. But he will need the full quota.
87. Alexander your car 150. 118.
That was a
Robert
great
your
shot
car
there from
58.
him to leave that 32. So it's all on Rickwood here now.
Game shot
And
on
he
the
makes
fifth
no
leg.
mistake with it
Robert
either.
Rickwood.
Henry said that the audience were on his side. He's getting a bit more applause than anybody else, isn't he, Robert Rickwood?
Sixth leg, Robert to throw first. Game on. $100.
And looking for a holder throw to get 2 points on the board.
93. 100.
Just had an email for a confirmation of the draw for the Players' Championship finals. Obviously, that was
134.
decided today. Peter Wright plays Ross Smith in the first round. The man has just won the European Championship, takes on the world champion in round 1.
Wow.
54.
There's no easy draws around there, though.
You know, that's the one that really
96.
jumps off the page.
$140.
Well, even a splutter of applause for the 140 there to leave what he and
58.
a few
Robert Carr,
fans in the audience
107.
hope is the last visit of this match. It won't be. Merkx will get the opportunity to take out 120.
83. Alexander Carr 120.
Could you thought about bull there? Was it too
Robert
awkward?
Yeah,
Par
I probably
24.
would have, because that did look like an awkward first start there, but maybe the bull didn't even enter his mind.
This to win. Double six. And
Game,
Rickwood
shot, and the
does get
match.
over the line.
Robert Rickwood.
All smiles in the end. He had his struggles on the doubles in that match, missing 9 at the outer ring. Merkx only had 2 darts at double, including one at the bullseye, which he hit for an 86 checkout. But Robert Rickwood put his problems behind him, won the last 3 legs, and picks up the first 2 points in Group 2. It'll be back to Group 1 after the break. Sam Cankett needing a victory, or he will be the first man eliminated this evening. Do stay with us.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where Robert Rickwood has got his finals night campaign off to the perfect start, getting the better of Alexander Merkx by 4 legs to 2 in the opening game in Group B. And this is how he did it, with an average of 89.9 for the game's solitary maximum, 4 out of 13 on the doubles, and a high out of 74. Alexander Merkx took advantage of both the opportunities he got at the doubles, but it was the scoring, ultimately, as you can see in the 140+ column there, 3 compared to 5, which was the difference in that one. So that is Group 2's first match. It's middle match time now here at the Super Series. It's come across so quickly here on this Saturday evening, and it is a crucial one right from the get-go. It's Sam Cankett up against Neil Duff in the middle game here in Group 1. Sam Cankett needs a victory if he is to help his way through to the semi-finals. He's up against the Duff man, the reigning WDF World Champion, who early on this evening caught up with me to look ahead to finals night. Neil, welcome to finals night. How would you reflect on your week?
Haven't started playing yet. Pretty much, I've had B game pretty much all week. So the plan is take my A game tonight. If I can play my B game all week and still qualify for Saturday night, I'm a dangerous player.
You saved some of your best for that last game last night. I suppose it'd be a case of trying to show a little bit more of that this evening.
Yeah, but the pressure was off me last night. I'd already qualified, so it's easy to go out there and free play. But I need to be doing that from the start. So less twitchy, less fives. I've hit so many fives this week. I don't know what's going on, but regardless of everything that's happened from Monday to Friday, tonight's the night, and I have to go up there and do my stuff.
You love playing in front of the crowd. You love these types of atmospheres. This is a night made for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go out to the crowd before I can go out and play. Just go up and shake a few hands and get them on side, and then go out there and give it the big one and get them behind me, because I feed off that there. So, yeah, last night I played the first 2 games. I was really flat and there's just no energy. And I think with the energy that's actually building in the room, if I can bring that into my game, yeah, no matter what, I'll be hard to shift tonight.
I'm sure they'll love you, Neil. All the best tonight.
Cheers, fella. Thank you.
Neil Duff catching up with me early on this evening ahead of the start of his finals night campaign. It is the middle match in Group 1. Can Sam crank it up, or will it be the happy hour for Duffman? Let's find out in the company of our commentary team. It's Corinne Hammond and first Chris Murphy.
Thanks, Henry. Keep them coming. Corinne's really enjoying them, I can assure you. But Neil Duff, yeah, it was interesting actually listening to that interview, because maybe that explains his slow start to last night. He thought he was already through. He wasn't, and had to get those back-to-back 4-0s at the end of the evening to book himself at finals night. He takes on Sam Cankett, as Henry described. Must win this match, or it's the end of finals night for him, and Duff goes through with a game to spare against the 4-0 winner of the first match, Jared Cole.
Yeah, I think that we might see what kind of resilience Sam has here, because obviously he knows that he needs to win this match, and having that kind of added pressure can sometimes be a hindrance rather than a help.
First leg, it's Sam to through first. Game on.
Well, let's see if he can. I'm not even going to use that same...
Crank it.
Yeah.
Cank it, crank it.
60.
Oh, I feel like Henry now. I have to stop.
Well, Neil Duff also mentioned that he was hitting a lot of 5s
60
yesterday, so obviously something he's aware of, and it can be the kind of thing that gets into your head and becomes a problem because you're thinking about it, therefore you end up doing it.
When you think don't hit 5s, don't hit 5s, don't hit 5s, you hit the 5s. What you need to say is, I will hit 20s, I will hit 60s, I will hit 60s, I will hit 60s.
Yeah, John Part he always used to say, never go to a double thinking, don't
48.
miss.
No, absolutely not. You just have to say, I will hit this.
There we go. Thinking about the 5s.
135.
So it's a good correction.
I was going to say. That's a much better shot, hitting that treble 5 first, followed by the 2 treble 20s, rather than the opposite way, the 2
60.
treble 20s, then the treble 5. That would have been a terrible shot then.
Well, the first one maybe just needs to get out of his system each throw. Get it out of the way.
45.
Although only 45 that time. He does leave a finish first, but it's a big one. And you could just see him looking a little bit annoyed because it hadn't happened for the first 3 visits, and then suddenly, sorry, first 2 visits, and suddenly it happened in each of the next 2.
Maybe that's because he thought, oh, I've stopped hitting 5s. The 5 was back in his head, and there it was, straight in there.
90, Samuel Class 70.
First dart at double coming in for Sam. If he can get the big number, which he does,
38.
fails to find it.
Samuel Class 71.
No practice on the outer ring in the opening match.
Game shot on the first leg. Nailed off.
No mistake there from Neil, though, taking out that first leg, and that was a break of throw. But as we've said a number of times, a
Second
break's
leg,
only
Neil
a
to
break
throw
if you
first.
can
Game
hold.
on.
Yeah, we saw Cole do it very well in the opening match. But we saw Robert Rickwood let
85.
it go in the second match before recovering to beat Alexander Merkx 4-2. Rickwood will return to meet Graham Hall in the
96.
second game in Group 2. Confident chap, isn't he, Neil Duff? He said, you know, if I can play my B game and
125.
still get through to finals night, then I must be half decent. I think it was something like that.
That confidence probably comes from being the WDF World Champion.
180.
Maybe that will give Cankett a bit more confidence. The first maximum of the night for him. Will result in the first leg of the night. Having a think here, 205. Doesn't have to think anymore. That's a great
100.
dart. Having said that, he could have gone for the bull, couldn't he, with the last one and left it a little bit tidier.
97.
It is
Samuel Carr,
surprising how many
125.
players you still see that don't think about those routes that are available to them.
Maybe just knew he'd get this.
Game shot on the second leg.
And he has got it.
Sam Cankett.
Well, for his first leg of the night, that was a pretty good finish there.
It only had 1 dart at double before that. That was in the previous leg in this match. And
Third leg, Sam
you
to
said
throw
it,
first. Game on.
break isn't really a break unless you hold in the next leg, and Neil Duff has failed to do that.
96.
He's definitely been thinking about those 5s.
55.
By my maths as well, Cankett winning a leg means that
60.
Jared Cole is definitely through.
I'll take your word on that, Chris.
Well, even for the 9-dart
30.
shootout, it would have needed to be 4-0 to Cankett this, so Duff winning the first leg stopped that happening. I'm pretty certain.
100.
And like, I go as far as 99.9%.
It does make sense what you're saying.
Yeah, if you win 4-0 in your first match, I think the worst you can hope for is a
Because
9-dart
even if
shootout.
40.
Jared were to lose 4-0 to Neil, the leg difference there, seen as Neil's already lost a leg in this one. Yeah, I agree with you. I think you're right.
23.
Which could, in a strange way, be a help to Neil Duff when he meets Jared Cole in the next match. If Cole himself is aware of that.
140.
It goes different ways for different players, doesn't it? Some need that intensity, others relax and play better.
45.
Cankett's getting a bit sloppy here, and this could cost him this leg.
85.
Berating himself a lot as well. Seems to be putting himself under pressure to perform to the level that
60.
he has earlier in the week.
151.
Certainly upped it since the first match. And he's going to get the chance to lead this one.
57. Samuel Carr, 117.
Well, he's already had 1 ton plus checkout. Oh, not going to see it in this leg. He's hit that fatal 5.
85. Neil Lucan,
That leaves it
94.
very handy with 32. gone the bull route there and hasn't really paid off for him, seeing as he's missed the 25.
62. Sumnukar 32.
He had no trouble when he had a big three-figure combo,
14.
but give him 3 darts at double,
Sumnukar 32.
and he struggles.
Maybe it's just the 32.
Game shot on the third leg. Neil Duff.
Yeah, he couldn't find it. Duff could, and it's another break and another chance to back it up with a hold.
Fourth leg, Neil to throw first. Game on.
But it's a performance so far from Neil Duff that's had the kind of
60.
feeling of his whole week. You look at his position in the game as a WDF world champion, you look at it thinking maybe he should be an outright favourite to win
93.
this night, but hasn't been anywhere near his best all week. And why would it all of a sudden come right on finals night?
Yeah, he's definitely not playing his best starts so far
100.
tonight in this match. Like not the standard that I would expect if he was saying that he's going to play his A game.
58.
So Jared Cole sitting pretty
One
at the
out of
moment, the king of the
40.
castle in good shape and in the semi-finals. Neil Duff looking to eliminate.
140.
Sam Cankett.
127. 60. Neil Yukar 74.
20. The tops.
Game
And
shot
this
on
time
the
he
fourth
does
leg.
hold.
Neil Duff. Fifth leg, Sam to throw first. Game on. $177. $100.
The 3-1 Duff. Cankett on the brink of elimination.
140.
In a good position though in this leg.
85.
177. Followed by 140. 5 perfect darts from nowhere, and maybe what we just spoke
60.
about. Some players relaxing. Maybe Cankett is resigned to his fate now tonight and just free-rolling a little bit. The problem is, Corin, when you do that, at some point you're back in it and you have to
60.
start thinking about,
Sam
actually, I
Yukar
could win this one.
124.
Yeah, that is exactly right.
92.
Persevered with that double 16. The target he's already missed 4 times in this match.
180. Sam Yukar
Maybe he'll
32.
be 5th, 6th, or 7th time lucky. Doesn't matter which
Game
one of the
shot on the
3 it
fifth
is, as
leg.
long as it's one of them.
Sam
And yeah,
Cankett.
6 starts lucky.
And pretty impressive following the fact that Duff had hammered in a maximum to pile on the pressure.
Sixth leg, Neil to throw first. Game on. $140.
Almost back to back.
93. 95.
By the way, do stay tuned this evening. Later on tonight, we will be revealing the lineup for next
90.
week. I've had a sneak peek at it, and it is definitely worth waiting for. Some big names in action from Monday. Henry will reveal all
100.
later in the evening.
$140. 45.
Signs of frustration there from Neil Duff.
Yeah, those 5 still creeping in there.
94.
And
Neil
sometimes
Duff,
having that outward
121.
frustration is the worst thing to do, because when your opponent sees that, they know that you're frustrated.
This would be a way to
Game,
soothe it.
shot, and a match.
And that's exactly what
Neil
Duff
Duff.
does. A fabulous 1-2-1 checkout to get over the line. And it's elimination for Sam Cankett. Wasn't at his best at all. So it's Duff through with Jared Cole. They will play each other in the last match of this group. Robert Rickwood and Graham Hall coming next as we return to Group 2. But Neil Duff doing enough, really. 1-2-1 checkout. 1-2-5 from Cankett to get his first leg on the board of the evening, but he'll wish that he played a little bit more like this in his first match of the night, left himself with too much to do, and it is Duff and Cole who go through from Group 1.
Welcome back to the Super Series, and in the words of Neil Duff's walk-on, welcome to the party, Duff man. He has secured his passage into the semi-finals and has taken Jared Cole with him, courtesy of a 4-2 success against Sam Cankett. Let's have a look then at the stats from that game. Not much really to separate them, apart from in the finishing department, an 89.56 average for Duff, 88.76 for Cankett, but it was the 4 from 6 on the doubles, which was the difference for Duff. Both players with a ton plus outshot, a 1-2-1 for the Duff man and 1-2-5 for Sam Cankett. So his campaign at the Super Series ends here. It's been an absolute pleasure to have him here over the last 3 days, and I'm sure we'll see him in action again soon. So it is all about the middle match in Group 2 now. Robert Rickwood in action up against Graham Hall, and earlier on this evening I caught up with the G-man to look ahead to his chances ahead of tonight's finals. So Robert, welcome to finals night here at the Super Series. How would you assess your week so far?
I think it's been a brilliant last couple of days. To get here, it's been amazing for me. You know, to get through last night, you know, with the players that were in it, were unbelievable. Like I said last night, third after first night, then to win all my games last night, amazing.
You taking tonight every game as it comes?
You've got to, know. Yeah. You know, every game's a bonus now. If you win, brilliant. You know, you can't take your eye off the ball again.
And of course, you've got the crowd in here this evening. You looking forward to playing in front of that?
I am, yeah. See if I get echoed, booed.
I'm sure they won't.
No, I know they won't. I'm only having a bit of a laugh. No, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, we look forward to watching you play, Robert. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, that Robert Rickwood interview was so nice, we just had to play it twice. Not bad for someone who can't speak. Well, we are going to hear from Graham Hall before this one gets underway, but let's explain then the situation in Group 2, because Alexander Merkx was beaten by Robert Rickwood by 4 legs to 2 in the opening game. If Robert can get a win in this one, it will set up a showdown in the final game of the pool stages between Graham Hall and Alexander Merkx. If Graham Hall can grab victory in this particular game, we will then have a scenario in the final match of that group. Group 1 is signed, sealed, delivered. We know the 2 players that are going to make their way through to the semi-finals from there, which will mean Game 5 is going to be a jostle for positions, because the player who finishes top of their respective groups will get the advantage of throw in their semi-finals, with the runners-up throwing second in their semi-finals, and then the final will be a straight bull-up to decide who's going to win the £5,000 first prize for this week and their spot at Champions Week in a few weeks' time. I believe we can now have a chat with Graham Hall. We did definitely catch up with him. I spoke to him earlier on this evening. Graham, welcome to finals night. It's been quite the week for you here at the Super Series.
Yes, I've had a lot of bad stuff this week, but managed to get through it in the end, so hopefully I've saved the best till last.
Do you feel like you found a lot out about your game this week?
Apart from all my inconsistency, not really, no. It just hasn't been my week at all, really. I feel a bit lucky to have been here, but last 2 games at the last session gave me a bit of confidence the way I played, and that was how I can play. So, yeah, a bit confident going into tonight.
So now you're here. The crowd are going to be here as well. You're just going to try and enjoy every single moment tonight?
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, just got to go out there and enjoy your darts and hope it all goes well.
We look forward to watching it. Graham, all the best.
Thank you.
So, and that was Graham Hall catching up with me earlier on this evening. It was worth the wait, wasn't it? He's in action up against Robert Rickwood. He's the last player to get his campaign up and running for the evening. Let's see how he gets on in the company of our commentary team. It's Corinne Hammond and Chris Murphy.
Thanks, Henry. Yes, Robert Rickwood looking to book his place in the semi-finals. Graham Hall out to stop him and leave him waiting anxiously for that result. If Rickwood wins, though, as Henry said, it will be a straight shootout between Hall and Alexander Merkx, who went down 4-2 to Rickwood in the opening match. But we have said goodbye already to Sam Cankett, who just didn't really produce, didn't recover from that 4-0 defeat in his opening match. And we said it at the time, Corinne, that it's very, very difficult to come back from such a heavy loss in the first game in these short groups.
Yeah, it is. I mean, if it had been a 4-3 loss coming off the back of that, it's a lot easier to play into for your second match. But 4-0, yeah, very, very tough.
And even winning your next match, then you're relying on somebody else in the third one. Rickwood hoping that he won't be relying on anything. He can get the job
31.
done here. A bit erratic, his opening 3 darts.
$60.
Henry said at the top of the show that Hall was amongst the 3 favourites for the title tonight. Do you agree with
85.
the odds compilers there?
Yeah, I'm a bit baffled by that, to be honest, because Hall didn't really stamp his authority through the groups, and I would say that those sessions weren't quite the same
60.
standard as what the Group B sessions were. So yeah, I really am surprised by that.
He did put in a good showing last time he was here in Group A. Just missed out, didn't he, on getting through that group, and then failed to get through to finals night all in the end.
Yeah, that was Champions Week, and he was down as being a favourite for winning that as well, and then yeah, failed to get through to finals night. So
60.
done one better already this week. So
Well, he's had to wait until last out of all the 6 players to get onto the stage. In fact, before he's thrown a dart, another player has been eliminated.
yeah, exactly. I don't think I would like that. I would rather have been one of the first ones up playing rather than waiting. And that's the thing when you're playing on a schedule like this, is that you don't exactly know when you're going to be playing. You've got a roundabout idea when you'll be on. And that's why sometimes actually a leg going all the distance and going to that, 7 legs, you then
50.
absolutely know that you'll be on after that leg finishes.
Yeah, we've actually had pretty quick progress so far tonight. 4-0 and 2 4-2s. The Hall perhaps on slightly earlier than he imagined, although
100. Robert, your
was
car 72.
waiting for that thrilling interview to be played. Double top.
32.
Over the top. Well, we saw a 1-2-1 from Neil Duff to win the match. Can Hall start his match with the same checkout?
$84. Robert, your car 40.
Not quite the target he was looking for there.
Well, he thought that was in. By the look of it, he nearly went after it. That is
Being
in.
shot in the
And
first
Robert Rickwood
leg.
is in
Robert
the lead
Rickwood.
after that missed start of the ball from Hall.
Second leg, Graham to throw first. Game on.
One thing I would be interested in to know, in all
96.
seriousness, puns aside about bonfire night, etc., because this hall is much more vast than the room that we had in Southampton before, you do hear things now and again from outside. I just wonder if any of the players have
45.
heard a firework while they've been throwing. Good excuse, isn't it?
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, and you know what dart players are like? They'll look for any excuse.
Rickwood cleaning his
92.
glasses at the minute, so that's his for the 45 in the opening visit in this leg. Well, it's worked.
140.
Just thinking about some of the things that some players will come up with as excuses. Sometimes it's too
96.
quiet, and then as soon as someone says something, then that puts them off, or there's too many people and it's too loud. That gets put off by this. There's a fly flying around somewhere. There's someone clinked a glass. Oh yeah, I think I've heard them all.
But have you used any yourself?
No, I don't. I always go, no, you know what? I that was my fault. I was terrible.
85.
Yeah, I've heard a fair few in my time as well, walking around the arenas. Let us know if you've heard a few on our social media pages at MSS Darts.
140.
Favourite darts
132.
excuses. There must be something really outlandish out there. Well, this would be an outstanding checkout, but getting nowhere near that middle, is he?
No, definitely not. I always say when I have a shot at the bullseye, I like
66.
to, when you miss it
Roll your
completely, you're
car,
like, oh, I didn't even hit the
36.
25. At least if you hit the 25, you feel like you were close.
Double 9.
Game shot
We
on the
saw
second leg.
Rickwood win the
Robert
first leg in the
Rickwood.
previous match and then mess around from 18, from 36 down to 18. But this time he's on the money and he doubles his lead and he's almost home and home.
Third leg, Robert, you throw first. Game on. $83.
Your feeling seems to be pretty much on the money as well. Did you put the lottery on tonight?
No, but I did put the lottery on last night, and I haven't checked yet whether I am a winner. I could be sitting here a millionaire and not even know it.
Yeah, if you don't hear Corinne's voice for the rest of the evening, you know what's happened.
I would have still turned up, even had I have known.
26.
Yeah, for the love of the game. Just noticed Robert Rickwood is sporting some funky footwear.
83.
Looking at the back of his foot there as he walks up the hockey, we'll see it. He hasn't got like the... You know when you're a kid and you get like lights on the back of your trainers?
100.
It looks like he's got something like that.
I think it's just the reflection of the light on there. It must be that, yeah, kind of plasticky thing in there. I mentioned the other night when I saw him playing Thursday night about his bracelet, because you can see it moving up and down his wrist as he's throwing. And I was saying, I wonder, he must be used to it, because otherwise, you know, he would find that difficult to play with. And he must have listened back to some of the commentary, you know, during Friday, because first thing yesterday evening came up and goes, "You're right about my bracelet. I've been playing with it for years and I can't play without it. If it's not there, I feel naked and can't throw my darts."
Yeah, there are some players who do
98.
Do that kind of thing. I don't know how. Mervyn King used to wear one. I don't think he does anymore. It would slide up and down the arm. I know Paul Nicholson wears a band that it doesn't move, does it? But
61.
It's called a power band.
Graham Yorker, 80.
Is he a Power Ranger?
It's apparently meant to have some magical, mystical powers, but yet to see evidence of it. That's pretty magical, though, from Graham Hall to halve the deficit in this one. Nice 80 checkout, 15 darter, break of throw. Once again, Robert Rickwood just pegged back. He's going to have to work for this.
4-5 Graham to throw first. Game on.
If you have missed any of the action, not just this week, but in the previous weeks of the Super Series, you can check out the MODUS Super Series YouTube channel, where all of the sessions are broadcast live. You can watch them retrospectively as well, and there are plenty of highlights and other fun content on there as well. I just wonder if the evening will result in any fireworks, because it's been pretty straightforward so far for the players that are winning. Maybe they're saving it until the semis and the final.
140.
Well, we should be assured of some special matches once it gets to the semi-finals, because then we're looking at players who have won their matches already this evening, or at least, you know, a match there, and know that they're in the semi-final. Everyone wants to be in the final. Everyone wants to win. Yeah. So it could be all ahead of us.
Yeah, and much more dramatic now, isn't it, that just one player gets through to Champions Week. It used to be 3, didn't it?
60.
In the shorter phases when the Super Series was previously known as the Live League.
$96.
Conan Whitehead winning the first Super Series. £20,000. Richer, well, 25,000 if you include the money he won for being a weekly winner before that.
170.
It's definitely not a bad couple of weeks' work, is it?
Absolutely. Now Hall going to work, looking for a 170. Another. And the ball.
Thank you.
Well, hang on a minute there. There was a little bit of an over-enthusiastic audience member. This would make it an even better shot
145.
Well, he
Romeo
was a
Khan,
lot closer there
93.
than he has been with his previous 2 darts at a bull. Yeah, see, I don't like that. I would have gone bull for first
43.
start.
Romeo Khan,
There off the
25.
93. Give yourself a little bit more opportunity if you hit that 25 or bull, of course.
Double 12 is a choice for Hall. Well, that's a mile away. Double 6.
13.
Won't be going bull this time,
50.
Robert Rickwood. Ops are tops.
Game
And
shot on the
gets it.
fourth leg.
And he's
Robert
one leg away
Rickwood.
from booking his place in the semi-finals. Just on that little disturbance
This leg,
there. I'm
Robert
sure
to
there was
throw
no
first. Game on.
malice intended. It actually, in a quieter arena, it can be more off-putting, can't it?
Nice.
Just
Well,
cough
which
at
is
the wrong time, or
Which is exactly what I was just talking about a few minutes ago, about how when it can be quiet and something happens, then, you know, it's a lot louder than what it generally would be if there is like that dull murmur or lull
59.
Across the room.
yeah, it actually molds together all our conversations in the last few minutes, because it also makes for a good excuse, doesn't it?
Yes.
60.
He will have a second chance. He takes on Alexander Merkx in the final match of the group. In a stark contrast to Group 1, that will be a winner-takes-all contest. If, of course, Rickwood does get over the line in this, which it looks like he will. Neil Duff against Jared Cole is just a bit of a warm-up match for the semi-finals now.
30.
Although there is the benefit of winning the group, isn't there?
Yeah, it gives you the advantage of throw in the semi-finals. And in such a short format, having
83.
the walk in the odd legs can certainly make all the difference, because it means, you know, you only have to hold for, well, all of them really, but a lot better, a bigger
80.
advantage.
Yeah, and if you break, you're almost there, aren't you? Whereas if they break, you only have to break back once. I'm not happy at all here, Hall. Couldn't put it right, so Rickwood rolling towards the last 4.
$125.
I'm not even going to make a prediction myself, by the way, for this evening. I got asked before the Players' Championship started this afternoon who I thought would win it. I said Johnny Clayton. He then went on to lose 6-0 in his first match.
Wow, really?
99.
Yeah, against John
81.
Worsley. A bit of an upset.
Yeah, that is an upset.
It was James Wade who went on to win the last Players' Championship event of the year. Graham Hall now looking to stay in this. He's had a lot of attempts at the bull so far.
49.
None of them have found
Romeo
it.
Khan, 16. Game, shot, and the match. Robert Rickwood.
And Robert Rickwood finds the winning double and finds himself in the semi-finals. A 4-1 success for the St Helens man. Graham Hall has it all to do. Will go into a straight fight with Alexander Merkx for a place in the semi-final, the finals available spot, because Neil Duff and Jared Cole are both already there. Rickwood joins them, winning 4-1. Didn't have to play his best in that one. Hall missing 5 darts at double. Only that 80 checkout, a moment to remember for him, and in a match to forget really overall. But he will come back for that shootout after Neil Duff and Jared Cole go head-to-head to see who will be top of Group 1.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where we're going to have a winner-takes-it-all game in our final match of the pool stages. Robert Rickwood finding his way through to the semi-finals, teeing up a straight shootout between Alexander Merkx and Graham Hall in the final game of the pool stage. Let's have a look then at the stats from that one. As you can see, Rickwood running out a 4-1 win. It was Graham Hall with the higher average and the game's solitary maximum, but it was another game that was decided by those pesky doubles. 1 out of 6 for Hall, compared to that 4 for 9 strike rate from Robert Rickwood, who's putting himself in a really, really good position. He's through to the semi-finals, and he was Corinne Hammond's tip at the start of the night to go on and take the honours come the end of the evening. So the middle matches are done. It's to the final 2 games of the pool stages. Both of the players taking part in our final game in Group 1 are through to the semi-finals. It's Jared Cole up against Neil Duff. They're playing off to finish top of the group. Jared Cole got the better of Sam Cankett by 4 legs to 0, and he won the game with a spectacular 104 checkout on double 13. That 4-0 victory meant that only 1 leg either way in the second match would have meant he was through. So Neil Duff through courtesy of a victory himself against Cankett, and this spectacular 1-2-1 checkout sealed the victory against the Welshman in game 3 of our evening. So we know that both of these players are through, but it is yet another important match between this pair. And for the second time this week, the winner of this will top the group. And if it's half as dramatic as the last time, we are going to see some tungsten tension, Corinne Hammond and Chris Murphy.
Calm down, Henry. Well, just if the pair were hoping for a quiet encounter. We just had a little bit of an alarm. But both of them have already booked themselves spots in the semi-finals. This match now about who ends up topping this group. Jared Cole, a 4-0 winner against Sam Cankett. Neil Duff, a 4-2 victor against the Welshman. Will the king of the castle be the king of Group 1? Or can the Duffman, the world champion in the WDF system, go and make it 2 wins from 2 and bring his A game finally to the Super Series this week? The other man through to the semi-finals, Robert Rickwood, has now won his last 6 matches here at the Super Series. A 4-1 win for him over Graham Hall in that previous match. Hall will take on Alexander Merkx in the last match of the group stages to see who the 4th man will be in the final 4. But for now, it's Duff against Cole to see who will have that advantage 46. Of topping the group and throwing first in their respective semi-final. Time to put you on the spot, I think, Corinne. You mentioned Robert Rickwood already. He's lived up 85. To your billing and booked his place in the semi-final, winning Group 2. Who do you see being in that showpiece match with him at the end of the night? 100.
I think it'll be Jared. Yeah. I mean, if he comes out and performs the way he did in his first match, he was obviously, you know, all business. I think that
99.
I think that he'll win this match against Neil, and then we'll win his semi-final, which will be between the winner of Graham Hall and Alexander Merkx, because Robert's topped Group 2. And yeah, so I think that it might be a Jared Rickwood 93. Final.
Right, if all that does come true, make sure you do check that lottery ticket we were talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Duffers hit 180.
95.
To make a strong start on throw.
Well, of course, if Jared does lose this match to Neil Duff, he'll be playing Robert Rickwood in the semi-final.
Yeah. So
game shot on the first leg.
Work to do for Jared Cole, because Neil Duff is off to a decent start here, a 14 darter. That's after opening with a score of 46 as well, so he's done really good stuff since then.
Second leg Jared to throw first. Game on.
We've spoken about Duff being the WDF World Championship, but Jared Cole made a bit of a name for himself at the Lakeside as well. Beat Martin Adams, didn't he, in his opening match?
Yeah, and then he was a bit of a favourite to have a deep run. I can't think off the top of my head who he did eventually lose out to.
Yeah, the run never really materialised. No. It was the first match of the tournament when he played Wolfie.
99.
And he really put on a bit of a show there against a man who'd been king in that event 3 times.
140.
I can't think off the top of my head either, I'll be honest, so I'm furiously tapping away on a keyboard.
These are the times that we need Henry
100
for the stats.
Yeah, I was there as well, but can't remember everything. I will inform the viewers when
140.
my information device has stopped buffering.
Well, we're certainly seeing a better Neil Duff in this match than what we did see in his previous one.
$136.
That was almost sublimely timed. After Corrin gave him the big build-up there. This needs to go, you feel. If Duff's going to carry on like this, Cole's going to have to take all the chances he gets, and he's taken that one. Absolutely fabulous.
Don't know about you, Chris, but I just love a bullseye finish.
Yeah, it just looks so good, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. And I actually prefer a 167 to a 170. I think it just looks nicer because you've gone, you know, up, down, in the middle.
Yeah, well, 170 is the biggest finish, but there is statistical evidence to say that 161 is the hardest.
See, I'm a 57-54 bullseye person for 161.
Yeah, I think it's because you go for 54 or 51 if you do go that way less frequently than you would for 57. And I have got that information now. I do remember now, I've seen it in black and white. He did lose to the #1 seed for that tournament, Brian Roman, in the last 16.
Yes.
Having beaten Anthony Allen in straight sets after that win against Martin Adams. Both players are showcasing their talent in this match so far. Early stages, but that's the kind of standard we're seeing from the pair.
$45.
Suddenly it's Jared Cole who's getting a touch of the Neil Duffs, isn't it? The fives found by him. 43, 45 the last couple of visits, and Duff has been allowed to run away with this leg.
$54. Neil Ducar, 71. Game shot on the third leg. Neil Duff.
Much, much better stuff from Neil Duff, and maybe we are going to see that A game after all.
Fourth leg, Janity through first. Game on.
I don't even think we saw it that much in that Lakeside tournament. There was one match where he survived a couple of match starts and came back to beat Jim McEwen.
Yes, you are right there. There wasn't. Yeah, but you are correct in that there wasn't really a lot of standout performances by him during that World Championships. I mean, obviously winning the final is a standout performance, but in terms of the darts performance there, the averages, what happened in it.
Yeah, he showed in spells, didn't he? And it is sets. It's a longer format. So if he puts it together for a spell here, he'll do it in 4 legs, and we will see a massive average and a real standout display. But yeah, in that quarter-final against McEwen, he was 3 sets down. He won it 4-3, averaged 94 and change, but he must have been averaging much higher than that in those final 4 sets.
45. $140.
No matter what the outcome of this match and who finishes first or second or whatever, you do feel that both Robert Rickwood and whomever the other qualifier is from Group 2 are really going to have to up their game if they want to get through to the final, because both of these players are playing at a higher standard than we have seen come from Group 2 so far tonight.
81. Jared Cole, 32.
Jared Cole looking at double 16 to level this one up.
Game shown
Robert
the fourth
Rickwood
leg.
still none the
Jared
wiser as to
Cole.
which of the pair he will be playing.
Going leg for leg here.
Just looking at the best performances at the Super Series
This leg, Neil
from
to
all
throw
of the
first.
players
Game on.
in this group, and Jared Cole has the highest average in a single match, 109.45. But Duff,
13.
Rickwood, and Hall all have three-figure averages. Cankett, who's out, and Merkx, who is on his debut week,
137.
don't yet at the Super Series. Interestingly, there's not that much difference if
43.
you combine all the matches together between the three main protagonists so far tonight, Cole, Duff and Rickwood, all averaging
93.
in the mid-80s across all of their matches, although it should be said that Jared Cole has played many more. In fact, this is his 300th match.
Wow.
81.
That is a lot of matches. But when you think about it, there are a lot of matches that are played here every week. What is over 100 matches between all the sessions from Monday through to
171.
Saturday night?
Cole wanting exactly 100 now to break the throw, and he's
100.
got plenty
Jared
of time.
Cole, 100.
Looks like he's making his move. And looks like he's making it likely that your prediction could come to pass.
80.
We don't get this with Chris Mason and Paul Nicholson, I can tell you.
I would like to point out that I did
94.
pick Conan as the
Jared
winner of the
20.
champion week at the beginning of the evening as well.
I was watching, I remember.
Game shown the
Jared
fifth
Cole
leg.
moves a
Jared
step
Cole.
closer to making that final become a realistic possibility between himself and Robert Rickwood, because if he wins one more leg, and he has the darts to do it here,
Six leg Jared to throw first.
then he will
Game on.
avoid him in the semis and take on whoever wins in that match between Hall and Merkx.
100. $55.
Of course, this could be a warm-up for the final, couldn't it? They could meet
Yeah,
again.
absolutely.
140.
And if Jared doesn't win this leg, we're going to see our first match of the evening that's gone the full distance.
83.
He's in a good spot to do it. Any treble leaves him on some kind of finish, but
40.
not that treble.
And even if Neil gets them all here, he's still not going to leave himself on a finish.
140.
He does just get himself back in contention in this leg. Cole will still feel his favourite, but just fluffing his lines. That's 3 darts in a row that went in the 5 segment.
43.
And he's not left himself a finish there.
59.
Well, Duff switching to ensure that he does leave the finish. It's an enormous one, but you can't hit what you haven't left.
138. Neil Carl, 164.
Always the way, isn't it?
120.
That start misses and the
Jared
second one goes
40.
straight in there.
Well, Cole won't mind if it's the first, second or third, as long as one of them goes in, and it
Game
is the
shot on the
first.
match.
And that
Jared
means he
Cole.
finishes first in Group 1, a 4-2 success over Northern Ireland's Neil Duff for Jared Cole, who goes through to the semi-finals as group winner, therefore will have the darts when he takes on either Graham Hall or Alexander Merkx. That match coming next, but what a decent showing so far this evening from Jared Cole. A 4-0 winner in his first match, then 4-2 against the WDF World Champion Neil Duff, averaging 94.91. Excellent finishing from the pair of them, to be fair, in the game. But Cole gave himself more opportunities and got over the line. He goes through as the winner. One place left in the semis. It's Hall and Merkx coming up after this.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where Jared Cole made it 2 wins on 2 by getting the better of the WDF World Champion Neil Duff by 4 legs to 2. A real high standard game. Let's have a look at the stats from it. Jared Cole, an average of 94.91 compared to Neil Duff's 88.75. Both players averaging around what they did in their first game, so it looks as if that's the level that they're going to produce this evening for us. 2 out of 3 on the doubles for Duff, 4 out of 7 for Cole. So an all-round solid game there to complete Group 1. Jared Cole being the victor in that game means that he's going to have the advantage of throw in the first semi-final, and he's going to face the winner of this next match. It is the decider to see who claims the second spot through from Group 2. We know Robert Rickwood is through. We know Robert Rickwood is also the group winner. He is going to throw first in the second semi-final, and he got the better of both of the players involved in this next game. First off, he got the better of Alexander Merkx by 4 legs to 2, pinning that finish there to seal the victory. He then got the better of Graham Hall by 4 legs to 1, pinning that double 8 to see himself through to the semi-finals. It really is as simple as the winner goes through. You could say the winner takes it all in this game. It's Alexander the Great up against Graham Hall. It's the final game of the pool stages here at the Super Series, and we're going to watch it in the company of Corinne Hammond and first Chris Murphy.
Thanks, Henry. Yeah, will Graham Hall still be in the tournament, or will Merkx book the final semi-spot? We're about to find out. It is effectively now a knockout match, even though it does say Group 2, Game 3 on our running order for tonight. But those defeats at the hands of Robert Rickwood for the pair of them make this a winner-takes-all clash. The 33-year-old G-man looking to be the man who does get through to the semi-finals. What we saw in the first 2 matches, who do you think the most likely is?
First. Game on.
I think Merkx is going to come out the winner here.
Well, he did show signs, didn't he? He trailed 1-0 to Rickwood and then turned it round, got back, got in front at 2-1 before Robert pulled away.
140.
Graham was never really in his match against Rickwood, so I think I can see where you're coming from there.
100.
Although Merkx has had the longest break between since he's played until now, but who knows? He could have spent all of that time on the practice board.
85.
Yeah, 3 through to the semis already. One of this pair will join
97.
them. And one player tonight will join Jim McEwen at Champions Week at the end of this second Super Series stage. After Conan Whitehead won the first.
140. 96. Graham Mulcar 136.
Looking for a bedfellow. Can't find it, but will return with Merkx not on a finish after
96.
9. Good start. This. It just seems like over the last couple of games we've kind of got lift off on this finals night. The players starting to bring out the big guns.
Maybe 10 p.m. was too early for them to start tonight. They wanted to wait until a little bit later.
Game shot on the first leg. Graham Hall.
Hall strikes the first blow in this one. A very, very good leg of darts from him. 14 darter.
Second leg Alexander to throw first.
Leaving Alexander on 150. He's impatient to put things right 94. Here, the Dutchman. Paul Hinks hadn't even finished his preamble to the leg before he'd thrown a couple of darts there.
$58.
Just to recap what's happened so far this evening. Jared Cole, a 4-0 winner in the opening match against Sam Cankett. And then beating Neil Duff 4-2 to top Group 1. Cankett losing to Duff in the middle match there. And he was eliminated very early on tonight. Merkx went down 4-2 to Robert Rickwood in this group before Hall 92. Went down 4-1. So Rickwood The group winner will take on Neil Duff in the second semi-final. Cole will play the winner of this one in the first.
94.
And if the winner of this match continues through to that semi-final, playing at the standard they're both playing at now, then that will actually be a really good game, because it's about
81.
the way that Jared has been playing tonight, and they would need to be able to keep up with him.
Yeah, he's been out from the off, hasn't he, Jared Cole? Looking in many ways like the man to beat. Needs a treble to leave a finish, gets it. Now wants another to leave a better finish.
100. Alexander Yukar,
Merkx has been the
102.
170 man this week. Will he have it hit against him?
94. Graham Yukar, 170.
No is the answer. Merkx coming back to level this one up.
57. Alexander Yukar, 8. Six. Graham Yukar, 113.
That was a quick trip round to end up on double one there.
Yeah. Will he get a go at it? Shaking his head. Well, it's still possible. And that actually might act as a guide. It's flicked off the flight. Beneath
89.
the bed.
Alexander
That
Yukar,
is
2.
double one. He's a bit of a rusher, isn't he? Alexander Merkx.
No score.
Just
Graham
likes
Yukar,
to get them out of
24.
his hand really quickly.
Yeah, but just almost too quick for me. His approach to the hook, he's almost throwing the dart before he's even set himself. Double six. Double three.
18.
Well, I think it's safe to
Alexander
say that
Yukar,
that standard wasn't maintained for long.
No. Maybe I shouldn't have said anything about it.
No score. Graham Yukar, 6.
They were pretty safe darts there at double one. It didn't really look like, yeah, because that's the thing with double one, you know, nowhere to go from there.
Yeah, you don't want to end up going inside with your first dart and then not getting
Exactly.
second and third.
No score. Alexander Yukar, 2.
Well, players left on 2 and 6. This is like me and Henry playing again.
No score. Graham Yukar, 6.
And double three is another tricky double as well. It's
Game shot on the second leg.
wasn't tricky for
Graham
Hall
Hall.
that time after having a few darts at it in his last throw.
You just see the slight difference, didn't you? Because Hall went inside previously and then he was high in the bed. You do still have the
Third leg, Graham,
luxury
to
of being
third
able to
first.
attack
Game
it,
on.
knowing that the shot's not over if you do go inside on that double. Very, very little margin for error on double one. But Graham Hall, it doesn't matter if
100.
it's a 14 darter like the first leg or a 25 darter like the second. They're all worth the same.
Yeah, exactly.
59.
I'd rather win a game in 35 darts than lose one in 10.
$96.
Well, that's what it's all about, and this match is definitely all about that because it is all or
100.
nothing at this stage.
It will be difficult for Merkx to come back from here as well, going in now, being
43.
2 legs behind, doesn't have the throw. Yeah, so he's got it all to do from here, really.
95.
Yeah, if Hall can hold here, then it would be an enormous task to turn around a 3-leg deficit, but maybe getting a helping hand from his opponent
40.
here. Strange to say, but you might look at the next couple of visits as the key ones in this
40.
match.
They are always the key darts there when it's around that 200 odd mark where you've got the opportunity to leave yourself a finish, even if it might be, you know, a big finish. But then when you can't get that treble, you can't get a decent score to set it up, and that's what loses you a lot of matches.
And there we see a classic
60.
example. Both players on the low 200s. One of them ends up on 147, the other on 42.
Mm-hmm.
Two. Alexander Yukar, 147.
Having said that, it might be the 147 that wins the leg. Well, he's so quick that I didn't even finish that sentence
45.
before.
He had 2 darts out of his hand.
Double 10 then for 3-0. Move the wire, double 5.
30.
Still Merkx has left himself
Alexander
with work to do. It's a 3-dart finish. He will get a go at a double. Double 16.
70. Graham Yukar, 10.
A dozen miss now for Alexander Merkx in this match. If Hall misses this, it'll be the same for him.
6. Alexander Yukar,
I have a
32.
feeling that this is what Merkx did on Tuesday. I didn't see the sessions earlier in the week, but I'm fairly certain he had a really good day
Game shot of
Monday.
the third leg.
Tuesday couldn't
Alexander
find a
Merkx.
double to save himself, and then came back again on Wednesday and played well, which saw him get through to Group B to be able to play in the Thursday,
Both like
Friday
Alexander did through
sessions.
first. Game on.
It didn't win a single game
100.
on Tuesday, having won 4 out of 5 on the Monday. And did the same on the Wednesday. And you are right, his checkout percentage on that ill-fated Tuesday was down at 21%. In comparison to exactly double that the day before.
Yeah. So we might be back to
85.
a missing doubles day here tonight, which is not the time that you want to do it on finals night.
Yeah, the one sort of beacon of hope for him is that it's not just him.
No.
43.
But Hall has had double trouble most of the week
140.
and kind of scrapped his way through.
Yeah, he had a day where he was around 20% in Group A as well.
55.
In fact, even when he had his best day, his checkout percent was around 32. I mean, that's decent enough. If you're hitting 1 in 3, then if you're leaving a double, then you're going out in that visit, aren't you? But haven't seen the 40% plus like we did from Merkx on Monday from Hall. But yeah, it's interesting the way you described it.
59.
Then it's almost like he's trying
Alexander
to
Yukar,
live out his entire week in
131.
one match here.
83.
It would have been ironic had he gone double-double there.
$100. Alexander Yukar, 48.
Well, he does end up going double-double in the end, but
32.
inadvertently, and hits the
Daniel
setup one, but not the one
110.
to win the leg.
Well, he will be back for it after that ill-fated 5 there from Hall. There's been a lot of loose starts going around, not just in this game, but
40.
over
Alexander
the
Yukar,
course of the
16.
night. Lots of 5s and 1s.
Yeah, the tension of finals night.
Game shot on
With
the
a few
fourth
eyes
leg.
on.
Alexander Merkx.
But it's all square in this one. Decent first leg from Graham Hall, but since then it's looked pretty nervy. We don't mean it when we say this, because obviously both players
This
want
leg
to win,
Graham
but
to
you
throw
get the
first.
sense it's
Game
one of
on.
those games where nobody wants to win.
$140.
I don't know about other players, but sometimes you get to a point in a match,
80.
particularly if you get stuck on double 1, and you just can't hit it. And then you've got both players who are trying to hit this double. And I get to the point where I go, I don't even care if they hit it. I just want someone to hit it to finish this leg.
Except if it's the last leg.
Yeah. Yeah, not in the last leg.
48.
I suppose one of the things is you don't want to spend so much time throwing at doubles and lose that feel for the treble 20.
That was a great combination of trebles there from Merkx. They will also blink and you miss them.
Yeah, he can hit treble 20, treble 19 and treble 18 probably faster than any of the other players can hit a 180.
81.
I don't think I'd like to be the spotter trying to keep up in a match between Merkx and Ricky Evans.
42.
Well, also one thing about throwing so fast is that he didn't think there. He threw a single 19 with his last dart and left 169. As it happens, he's been let off the hook because the last 3 visits from his opponent have been in the 40s. But yeah, if you're going to be so quick, then your counting's got to be fast as well, hasn't it?
Needs to be quicker.
100. Alexander Lucar, 74. Game shot on the 5th leg. Alexander
blinked
Merkx.
and he didn't miss it. 74 out, and suddenly Merkx is on the brink. Hold a throw here, and he takes that last semi spot.
6th leg, Alexander to throw first. Game on.
And I have to give Corinne alongside me credit because everything she said tonight so far has come to pass.
I'm definitely checking that lotto ticket, although this match isn't over yet, so, you know, we don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those games, isn't it, where anything can happen. It's a 14 darter that from
16.
Alexander Merkx, but Graham Hall had exactly that in the first leg, and the next one took almost twice as long.
140. $93. 45.
Does look like getting it done, though, even though he's had a bit of a slip there. And Graham Hall, I think he knows his race might be run here. Not even that bad a dart, is it? I know it's landed in the treble 1.
Yeah, but it's very fine margins, but that's, you know, what darts is. It's a game of fine margins.
55.
Yeah, just not sure the reaction merited the dart that he threw. If he'd have managed to shank one into the treble 18, he'd have probably styled it out.
It's more frustration than anything, I think.
Alexander Lucar, 121.
Well, he's given Merkx a free pass here because 168 is not a finish.
105.
So he will have 3 darts at least to win the match.
He really looks like he's throwing the mangry now too.
16. Game
Well,
shot
he'll have to
and
look
match,
back in anger
Alexander Merkx.
because Alexander Merkx has got the final place in the semi-finals, a 4-2 success over Graham Hall. Merkx joins Cole, Duff and Rickwood in the final 4. A bit of a bizarre game that, loads of missed doubles in it, but Merkx did seem to turn on a style, winning the last couple of legs in 30 darts and getting through to the semi-finals. We'll get some reflections after the break with Henry and Corinne Hammond, but it is Merkx who takes that last spot in the last 4.
This is the MODUS Super Series. $182.
Welcome back to the Super Series, where the group stages are now complete and Alexander Merkx finalises the final four lineup, courtesy of a victory against Graham Hall. As you can see, Corinne Hammond has joined me up here on the balcony to reflect upon all the group stage action we've seen so far this evening. But before we look back at that, let's take a look at the stats on that victory for Alexander Merkx by 4 legs to 2 against Graham Hall. A 75.77 average for him compared to Graham Hall's 74.86. It was a game played by missed doubles. The 4 from 21 was enough for Alexander Merkx in the end. He's going to play in the first semi-final against Jared Cole. Meanwhile, Robert Rickwood is then going to take on Neil Duff in semi-final number 2. But Corinne Hammond alongside me up here on the gantry. We said before the action got underway, we expected some tight matches, but early on, it was actually the complete opposite.
I know, and I can't believe that we haven't had a 7th leg decider at all in any of the matches tonight. That's surprising. Maybe we're going to see them now from the semi-finals onwards.
In Group 1, we saw two real standout performers who both set statements out in their opening game. And even in defeat to Jared, Neil played some really, really good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that both Robert Rickwood and Alexander Merkx are going to have some tough matches on their games with their respective opponents in these semi-finals.
Now, you predicted Robert Rickwood at the beginning of the evening to go on and pick up the pot. You actually predicted how the group stages were going to finish. So
I didn't say that Rickwood was going to win. I did say I had a gut feeling he would be in the final. So, yeah, I'm sticking by that. I do think that he's going to make the final.
He takes on Neil Duff in the second of our semi-finals. The first semi-final is between Jared Cole and Alexander Merkx. Jared getting out the trapped, flying, winning his first game 4-0 and getting the better of Neil Duff in the decider to seal his place in the first semi-final and have the advantage of throw. And how crucial is that going to be in this short course format? First to 4, every leg counts.
Yeah, well, you've just explained it right there, Henry. There's nothing more that I can say in regards to that. It is important to have the first throw in this short leg format.
Now, Alexander has come straight off the stage. He's going to come straight back on it in a couple of minutes' time. Now, we're going to see him get the better of Graham Hall here by pinning the double-8 to seal a 4-2 victory. Now, for you, would you rather have had that little bit of a cool-off time, a little bit of a break, play semi-final number 2? Or actually, could it be a help of the fact that he can't think about anything at all? He knew even if he won the game, it's going to be the first semi-final, that he comes straight off stage, he's still warm, maybe have a couple of practice starts, and then come straight back on the stage again?
Yes, I would prefer to do that if I were him. Absolutely.
And of course, in terms of the week so far, we saw Jared get the better in Group A against Alexander. But one thing we will get from Alexander, I'm sure we're going to get, is a big finish. The man who supplied the 2 big fishes so far this week.
Maybe he's used them all up. Like, who knows? But yeah, I do tend to think that his doubling is going to improve with those finishes rather than having the darts at a double, as we just saw in that last match with Graham. There were so many missed doubles, but yet when he got himself to a finish, he seemed to hit it straight away. If you get what I'm saying, a combination finish, 1 dart at a double, he hit it. Give him 3 darts, couldn't hit it.
And that is something that most definitely is going to have to be sharpened up in that semi-final, though the irony of it is the average that he averaged, he may not get many opportunities. It may be back at the combinations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's going to be a real tough match for him, and I would actually predict that Jared will come through the winner of that one.
Well, Corinne's been doing the predicting all evening, has been getting it correct, so we're going to play the semi-final, but because Corinne's an expert on getting all the predictions right, we know what's going to happen anyway. The lottery tickets are 7, 14, 26.
I've got one on the fridge at home from last night. I'm definitely going to go home and check it.
Well, Corinne Hammond is going to make her way down to the commentary box to join Chris Murphy for live coverage of our first semi-final. It's Jared Cole up against Alexander Merkx.
Thanks, Henry. Here we go then. Semi-finals about to get underway. Alexander Merkx, just 10 minutes or so ago, getting through, filling that final spot in the final 4 with that 4-2 victory over Graham Hall. And he faces Jared Cole, the man who, for my money, has looked like the best player tonight, certainly living up to his nickname, king of this castle so far. But will he be crowned the champion at the end of the evening? 1 win away from a place in the final. But Merkx did start to produce some of his better stuff at the end of that match
First leg is
against
Janet
Hall.
to throw first.
It was just
Game
30
on.
darts used in the last couple of legs after missing 17 at double during the match.
137.
Caldo has been clinical throughout the night. Best performer
60.
of the semi-finalists. And having the advantage of throw in this one
55.
may well help him on his way to a spot in the final.
97.
Corin Hammond has
95.
made her way down from that chat with Henry. Go on then, what's in the
60.
crystal ball for this one?
I did say up there, I think that Jared is going to come out the winner, and that's just based on his performances tonight already in his first 2 matches.
100.
I think we need more detail, Corin. Come on, what's he going to average? What score lines are he going to win by?
Yeah, I'm not that good.
100.
I'm actually
WK
surprised that I've been
114.
able, my predictions so far have come true.
114 for the first leg, 54 the target with a second dart, but can't find it.
98.
Leaves it handy on double 8 instead. I was just saying though, as you were making your way downstairs,
84.
yeah, it was a mess of a game, let's put
16.
it bluntly, for most of the match against Graham Hall. As Cole looks at this double 8.
Game shot on the first leg.
But Alexander Merkx did throw probably his best stuff of the night in those last 2 legs.
And that's because he had some combination finishes. It was kind of, as I was saying before,
Second leg, Alexander to throw first.
it was like
Game
if he had the one dart at a double to finish off a combination shot, he got it. But giving 3 darts in his hand at a double.
58.
And yeah, he was left wanting.
And you would think a player at his pace would be better at actually staying in the same
95.
segment. However, has been better at those combo shots this week, and we did see him in the previous match as well. Score a 171 using 3 different trebles.
100. 135.
Cole has just played like a man who kind of expects to win tonight. Got this air of authority about him, the 22-year-old.
He is oozing confidence. He would absolutely feel like he is the best player here tonight. I mean, because he's seen
64.
what everyone else has done. He's seen how they're performing. And so he knows that he's been the top performer of the night so far.
60.
He's one of the first products of the JDC system, the Junior Darts Corporation, set up by Steve Brown
133.
and company. A very different route into
135.
top-level darts now than it used to be. What's the route for this? Treble 14 is the answer. Double 16. Double 8 again.
58.
Chance then for Merkx.
Alexander Wilkar, 51. Game shot on the second leg. Alexander Merkx.
And the 1 dart was all he needed. So far, he's on 100% checkout this match.
They're putting things right.
Third leg, Janet to throw first. Game on. One out of them, 40.
I'd have to scroll back through exactly when he missed all of those darts at double in the previous match, but he's actually on a
57.
half-decent run of doubling now, isn't he? The last couple of legs in that game and the first one that he's won in this one.
Maybe it's because we've
121.
turned over into a new day now. It's after midnight.
135.
And maybe they need a bit of a benefit of knowing it's knockout darts as well.
Yeah, there is that, because as we were talking about
60.
before, with a round robin, and particularly during the earlier sessions of the week, not with finals night, of course, being such small groups, but you do have that luxury that you can lose a game and still come back from it.
Well, the counting was good from Alexander there, but the execution was just a little bit off.
60.
Had he found the 25, he would have had 9 more points and therefore would have been going for a third big fish finish of the week.
95. Jaradukar 120.
Instead, he has to watch and hope that Cole doesn't clean up 120.
44. Alexander Yukar 84.
Just seeing a little bit of frustration come out in Cole's darts there.
59. Jaradukar 76.
Yeah, he would have hoped to have been left much more handy. It is just going to be the one dart at tops.
56. Alexander Yukar 25.
This is a little bit of a turn up here. If Alexander hits this, and he has hit
on
it,
the third leg.
it means he now
Merkx.
has the darts to lead Jared Cole, who's been looking like the man to beat all evening, 3-1.
Fourth leg, Alexander to throw first. Game on.
What you're saying is that I could be wrong with my prediction.
Maybe it's because we're in a new day now.
Yeah, exactly.
$55.
I wouldn't write off Jared Cole yet, and I wouldn't write off the possibility of Merkx having one of those legs where he starts missing doubles again, but he's looking like he's going to get chances at doubles.
He absolutely does, and he's throwing with a lot more conviction
99.
now, I would say. Even his, overall performance of scoring has improved greatly since he's been hitting these doubles with
100.
ease.
You think these real speedsters in the game that have more of a likelihood of being erratic in their performance, and it can be brilliant or bad, and not much in between.
Yeah, it's either one or the other. Yeah.
113.
Well, that's decent enough, and it could be a very, very tidy leg to move to the brink of a place in the final.
139. Alexander Yukar 8.
Double has to be hit.
Game shot on
And
the
he has,
fourth
and this
leg.
time with 3 in
Alexander
hand.
Merkx.
No problem either, so he's really sharpened up that segment of his game as well for the semi-final.
Fifth leg, Jared to throw first. Game on.
Actually,
60.
Jared Cole, who's struggled more in that department.
140.
But he's been out-finished and just about outscored by his opponent as well.
134. 100.
Well, we did say that the winner of Hall or Merkx, whoever was going to be playing Jared, would need to step up their game if there were any chance to, to come away the winner.
85.
And Merkx has done exactly that.
Both men averaging in the 90s. Cole's level hasn't dropped that
57.
much. He's just missed opportunities where Merkx has hit.
Poor shots at the wrong time in that crucial point of the leg when it's getting down to leaving
46.
the finish. That's where he's come short, such as that shot right there.
Yeah, perfect example.
44.
At least Merkx was able to tidy it up and leave a finish, so he will have a match-winning shot in front of him when he comes back. Under what pressure?
43. Alexander Yukar
Not that
160.
much, to be honest. And that could be that. It looked like a good guide. You can see that it was, because the third dart found the treble. This is do or die for Jared Cole. He's not going to do.
57. Alexander Yukar 35. Game shot and the match.
Well, there you go then.
Alexander
Jared Cole was looking every inch a champion in the group stages, but in the semi-finals, he has been smashed by Alexander Merkx. A great performance from the great. 4 out of 7 on the doubles. A stark contrast to what we saw in his previous match in that department, averaging just shy of 90. And the Dutchman is first through to the final. Will it be Robert Rickwood or Neil Duff who he plays? We'll find out after the break.
Welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, where Alexander the Great has slayed the king of the castle to secure the first place into the Week 2 final. Alexander Merkx getting the better of Jared Cole by 4 legs to 1, averaging 89.07, getting the game's solitary maximum and 4 out of 7 on the double. It's another one of those games dictated by the outer ring. Jared Cole having opportunities to go 2-1 up, then Alexander Merkx taking full command of the match from there, including that high checkout of 51. So Alexander Merkx is into the final. He is the first man to secure his spot there. He's 1 game away from £5,000 and the second spot at Champions Week, joining Jim McEwen in the red carpet occasion in February 2023. Well, let's see who's going to join him there then. The second semi-final is between Robert Rickwood and Neil Duff. These two faced off against each other in Group B this week. Neil Duff won the first meeting between the pair by 4 legs to 2 on Thursday night, before Robert then returning the favour on Friday evening, winning by the same scoreline and pinning this double 5 to do so and to get the better of the WDF World Champion. Well, it could well be another 4-2 between this pair, and like any good matchup and any good film and any good series, you've got to have a good trilogy matchup, haven't you? And so let's see what Duff and Rickwood Part 3 is going to bring us. It's for a place in the Super Series final, and it's going to be watched in the company of Colin Hammond and Chris Murphy.
Thanks, Henry. Yes, it is the top 3 from Group B that are still in this tournament. Alexander Merkx winning that group. He's through to the final. Neil Duff coming second, and Robert Rickwood on the same points coming third. We lost the Group A winner, Jared Cole, after that beating by Merkx, and the 2 Group C players lost in the group stages. So will it be the Rock, Robert Rickwood, or will Neil Duff get over the line, get into the final, and look to join Jim McEwen at Champions Week?
First leg is Robert.
A meeting with Merkx awaits.
Game on.
Corin, you've had this feeling all night about Robert Rickwood getting there. Surely you're sticking with it.
I have to stick with it, don't I? I'm a woman of my convictions.
140.
But he's been not in the same way that Jared Cole was, Robert Rickwood, but he has been dominant so far this evening.
Yeah, he has.
100.
While he hasn't had those high averages, he's still, dominated the matches.
Never really looked in too much danger. A 140 with his first visit leaves him on 361.
140.
Another one leaves him on 221.
$100.
We saw the importance of the early stages of these semi-finals in the previous
85.
match. Cole having the chance to lead 2-1, and then once he'd missed the chance, Merkx never looked back.
Yeah, absolutely. It was like, I don't think Jared had another look at a double from there, did he?
140. Robert, your
Not that I
car,
can recall.
136.
A good start from this pair, both on finishes after 9 darts. Rickwood a slightly more favourable one, but you wouldn't put it past Neil Duff to clean up the 161.
100. Neil, your car, 161.
As I was saying,
136.
just
Robert, your
whistled
car,
past the ball.
36.
So Rickwood returns.
Game shot on the first leg, Robert Rickwood.
And makes no mistake about it either. That was a nice 13 dart to open up this semi-final.
Second leg, Neil to throw first. Game on.
One leg, but why not, eh?
Yeah.
13
60.
darts, 115 average. I haven't seen, as Corin just said, those astronomical averages from Robert Rickwood.
41.
Maybe threatening to post his best performance of the night in the semi-final. He might need it the way Duff started the match as well.
100.
You have to feel that Neil's getting closer to the A game that he talked about at the beginning of the night that he was, he was going to bring on, because he's definitely improved with each match.
Maybe Neil Duff is one of those players. We talked about stage plays. Maybe he's a big game player, the man for the big match, because he came through in that Lakeside win, some really
100.
thrilling contests at the deep end of the tournament. The final itself went down to a deciding set.
Yeah, being able to do the right things at the right times. And that's, half
45.
the thing that you need to do, particularly playing set play as well, doing the right things at the right times to get you those sets. You don't really have
60.
that opportunity in this kind of short format, though. It's do or die.
It's almost like one set, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then you play another one in the next match, but against a different opponent.
100.
He's doing the right thing there, Rickwood. Going for the 25, would have left 170.
$97.
Like to live in his head for 10 minutes, Robert Rickwood. He seems to find everything hilarious, doesn't he? Good darts, bad darts, indifferent darts.
He's just smiling at everything. Yeah. I think that is better than the
43.
alternative,
Nearly
though,
84.
because he's not giving anything away to his opponent either.
Is this leg going to get away from him? 14 segment. Double 11 for Neil Duff to level the
62.
match. And now
Robert
Rickwood will get a
132.
chance for a bit of a champagne shot here. Oh, my. Oh,
Game
it's
shot on the second
absolutely
leg.
wonderful from Robert Rickwood. 2 balls, double 16. And for the first time, bizarrely, he's not smiling about it.
Third leg, Robert to throw first. Game on.
Now he looks like he means business. That was an
45.
absolutely sensational finish, though, and I have to admit, I do love a 1-3-2 finish when it looks like that.
Yeah, a thing of beauty. And it puts him firmly in command of this
55.
contest. He has the darts now to lead 3-0. It is
100.
just about the only finish, because the bullseye, of course, is classed as a double, where you would see a player take out a finish on three doubles.
Yeah.
100.
Although Jose de Sousa might have something to say about that, because he likes doing it on things like 120.
Yeah. Or Simon Whitlock with 3 bullseyes.
Yeah, that is going some, isn't it?
180.
360s for Rickwood. Getting closer and closer.
140.
He does look like a man on a mission now.
Yeah, semi-final came along and it was business time
66.
for Robert Rickwood.
But to tell you the truth, this is kind of what he looked like last night, because in that session he came into it only on 4 points. 2 points.
96.
So knew that he had a job in front of him and
110.
went through the evening without losing a match. And it was reminiscent of, there was a lot of this look on his face during that night.
Will he have
50.
luck on his side? Duff
Nearly
has a chance here
110.
to break and make this a very different looking semi-final. I thought he might have just considered
50.
staying on the treble 20
yeah,
there.
I probably would have.
60.
Double top for 3-0.
Game
And
shot
Robert
on the third
Rickwood has
leg.
not yet
Robert
missed a dart at
Rickwood.
double in this match. If you include the 2 bullseyes as doubles, Robert Rickwood's actually 6 out of 3.
Fourth leg Neil to throw first. Game on. $100.
It would be 5 out of 3, but don't let that spoil my fun.
I wasn't going to mention that.
$43.
But you see how important it is because there's not much in it. In fact, Robert Rickwood has a lower average of the pair. He's only had 1 more dart
100.
at double than Neil Duff.
But he's done the right things at the right times.
And that's what it's all about. And he's on some run as well.
100.
6 straight wins. This would look to make it 7. Bit reminiscent of a player in the previous phase, Peter
45.
Jakes, the Yorkshireman, who went on a perfect night on the Friday and then just carried it on into finals night.
$60. $60.
You can tell there's some tension in this match, and it's because it's, well, tension for both of them. Rickwood wants to get the game
44.
wrapped up. Neil's like, well, this is do or die. If I don't win this leg, I'm on my way home. And you can just tell that in the scoring here with this one.
100.
Well, Duff will feel like he's going to get an opportunity.
You say that tentatively.
One out of
well, 96
40.
is no
Neil Duff
guarantee, is there?
96.
There is now.
78.
You know, that first
Royal
start at
Car
double it
114.
didn't look convincing at all and maybe made it awkward for Neil Duff.
He's not going to, is he?
Missed a double 19.
76.
And he has for
Neil
once
Duff 18.
missed a double 19. That might be too close for comfort for Neil Duff.
9.
Proved to be the
Royal
case.
Car 38.
And maybe he is going to.
$30. Neil Duff 9.
Not quite there yet, but Neil Duff has had 7 darts at double in this game, missed the lot.
Game shot on the fourth flag. Neil Duff.
There was a nodding of the head from Rickwood in the back there before Duff had even hit that double 4,
This
knowing
leg,
that it
Robert,
was
to
just
throw
going to go
first.
in.
Game on.
Well, you mentioned tension in the scoring phase there, but the only darts that Robert Rickwood has missed at double have
53.
been ones to win the match. And that tells its own story.
Yeah, it does.
And here we go again,
50.
Neil. Well, he spoke about it in his interview at the start of the night, finding too many 5s. Catching.
44. $60.
Haven't had a last leg decider all evening. I can't remember a night where we haven't had a...
Yeah, I'm absolutely amazed by this.
$100.
I'm sure if Henry were here, he would have already looked up the stats on that.
Yeah, I was just checking my phone, but he's a bit slow tonight.
60.
He's probably just up dancing on the balcony.
60.
The pace is certainly slowing down a lot here in terms of those big scores. More wayward darts creeping in.
24.
Well, going from bad to worse for the pair of them. And every promise of being a fantastic match in the first few legs. We saw that wonderful 1-3-2 checkout. Now Neil Duff turns it on. Can Neil Duff turn it around? This is for a break of throw when he returns.
42. Neil Duff, 51.
Well, he didn't mean to hit either of those targets.
No, definitely not.
39. WK 138.
What about the 138 to add to the 132?
Not going to go.
So far away as well.
48. Neil Duff, 12.
Neil Duff might be getting closer to him.
Game shot on the
He
fifth
has.
flag.
He
Neil
is.
Duff.
It's game on because Duff now does have the darts to force the first deciding leg of the night.
Sixth leg, Neil to throw first. Game on.
I've
60.
had confirmation from my researcher, Mr. Deacon, that we haven't actually had a single night since it became the Super Series where we haven't had
26.
a match that's gone the full distance. Maybe set to continue because it's looking very likely that this one will.
Yeah.
100.
And if Rickwood does come out the other end of this, the loser, he's going to look back on those match darts that he did have there in the fourth leg.
68.
He did have match darts, didn't he? Did he? Am I just thinking that now? I don't know.
57.
Rack my brain myself. I mean, it does feel like he should have won the match.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? In leg 4.
58.
He had those darts at double 19.
Yes, and then the, yeah.
One for the 114, and then when he came back.
Yes. Oh, good, I am right.
100.
We did speak earlier in the evening about that fantastic act of brinksmanship from Neil Duff at the WDF World Championship when he came from 3 sets behind to beat Jim McEwen, the man, of course, who was already at Champions Week here. So he might be coming from 3 legs behind to beat Robert Rickwood.
Neil Duff, 110.
But there is a chance
40.
now, suddenly,
WK
for another match start.
And he should have one.
Game, shot, and the
This
match.
time he nails it.
Robert Rickwood.
Well, at the time when it didn't look likely, Robert Rickwood gets over the line. 112 checkout to go with the 132 earlier on. Duff is done in this tournament. It's Robert Rickwood who goes through to the final to take on Alexander Merkx. We'll get Corin Hammond's thoughts with Henry between the semi-final and the final, but one player will be going through to Champions Week to join the aforementioned Jim McEwen and to have the chance of picking up the £20,000 first prize, just as Conan Whitehead did in Series 1.
Series. $180.
So then that was the best of Series 1, but who's going to be the second player to etch their name into Champions Week in Group 2? We are one step closer to finding out, and Robert Rickwood will join Alexander Merkx in the £5,000 game after getting the better of the reigning WDF World Champion Neil Duff by 4 legs to 2. Let's have a look at the stats, Corinne, from this one. Both players averaging 80, but it's the 4 from 7 on the doubles for Robert, which won the day for him in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And he had some, I mean, that 1-3-2 checkout when Neil had already missed a dart at double 11, that was just fantastic. I mean, he missed some match darts in the fourth leg to take it out 4-0, but then was able to carve his way back there again to get that 4-2 victory.
Did that feel like the turning point in that game for you?
When he missed those match darts?
No, the 1-3-2, the 1-3-2 that Robert got.
No, because I think that was the second leg, wasn't it? Potentially. So, no, not really so much the turning point. Yeah, I think the last leg was the turning point when he checked out the 1-12.
Darts is a simple game, isn't it? Get some doubles, win the match. It is as simple as that. And that was exactly what Alexander Merkx did in the first semi-final against Jared Cole. And there was a slight regression from Jared from the group stages compared to what he produced in the semi-final.
Yeah, it was, and I think it's because he didn't have the expectation that Merkx would play as well as what he did, because Jared would obviously have paid attention to what was happening earlier in the evening and would have seen how Merkx had been playing, which wasn't to the standard that he played in that match against Cole, so he knew he had to step it up, and he did.
Alexander Merkx had to play the last game. It was a game that meant everything in terms of qualification. Even though Jared against Neil in that final group game was for top spot, the intensity in that game wouldn't have been the same as the one Alex played. Does that change anything? You're shaking your head.
No, I don't think so, because I think that he got through that match. He knew he'd qualified to the semi-finals. He knew he had a job to do. He knew he would have to step up his performance against Cole, and that's exactly what he did.
Well, let's have a look then before we preview tonight's final at the lineup for week 3. And goodness me, Corinne, it is some lineup. If you like the legends of the game, week 3 is the week for you, because amongst them we're going to see Andy Hamilton, the Hammer, in action. Martin Adams, 3-time world champion, and Robert Thornton, multiple major champion, of course, the reigning world seniors champion. Joining them is Thibaut Tricol, the exciting talent from France, this year's Lakeside World finalist, Jesus Nogueira as well, alongside Matt Jackson, who is our ADC qualifier. That is going to be fun.
Of course you think it's going to be fun. But no, that is a great lineup.
The fantastic lineup in Group A. And then we look at Group B. Justin Smith, Lee Cox and Stephen Burton, whoever drops into that Thursday, Friday night group, have got their work cut out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Group C, Cameron Crabtree makes his debut in the competition alongside David Wazuski and Scott Taylor. So that is your lineup for week 3 here at the Super Series, but we are concentrating on the final of week 2. It sees the debutant Alexander Merkx in action. He takes on Robert Rickwood, and it's actually our 2 picks for the night going toe-to-toe in the final.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't outwardly said that I thought Rickwood would win. My gut feeling had been that he'd make the final, but seeing as he's there now, I'm going to have to back him and say I think that he is tonight's winner.
We just saw him get the better of Neil Duff by 4 legs to 2. Ironically, every single game they played this week went 4-2. Rickwood winning that head-to-head 2-1 in the most important battle of the lot. He takes on Alexander Merkx, who we saw earlier on get the better of Jared Cole. And so one last order of business for you up here on the balcony here, Corinne, is to predict who's going to win this final.
Well, I just said it's going to have to be Rickwood.
Well, Robert Rickwood walks on to red light spells danger. Well, it could spell danger for Alexander the Great, or will he get the better of the man from Burnley? We're about to find out. Corinne's going to hot foot her way to the commentary box to join Chris Murphy.
Thank you, Henry. Yes, it all comes down to this. The pair of them met in the first match in Group 2 tonight. And Robert Rickwood won that match 4-2, set his standard, began his campaign. Well, next week we'll see Martin Adams, Andy Hamilton, etc., etc. But right now, tonight, it's Alexander Merkx and Robert Rickwood battling it out for a place at Champions Week. To join Jim McEwen, of course. Rickwood on this winning run, the rock solid for the last couple of nights, winning all of his matches last evening and 3 tonight to make it 8 on the spin.
First leg is Robert through first.
And if Rickwood can nail 9, then he will be the second player through to Champions Week at MODUS Super Series number 2. Alexander Merkx stands in his way, looking for revenge for that defeat in the opening match of Group 2. It looked like the game might be up for him at that point.
100.
But he turned things around with a victory against Graham Hall. And then, perhaps most impressively, beating Jared Cole
45
in that semi-final. It's been an evening where it's looked like Robert Rickwood has been very unlikely to lose a match all night. He hasn't lost a match all night. In fact, he hasn't lost a match for the last couple of nights. Surely, we're not going to get 45. The big surprise in the big finale.
Well, if Merkx has anything to say to it, yes, we will.
100.
What we have had tonight is an incredible amount of fast matches. We've got 6 reasonably quick players and 2 of the fastest battling out in the final as well.
41.
So even if it is the first 4-3 of the evening, it won't take that long.
No, it won't. And well, and if the standard stays the way that
134.
Merkx is playing at the moment, if it stays at that standard, it would be a very quick 7 legs indeed.
What on earth has happened to Robert Rickwood so far? Still on
140.
more than 300 after his first dozen darts. He does leave a finish after 15, but Merkx may be out as quick as a flash here.
51. Robert, you
can't write Rickwood off, can you, on these kind of finishes? So
no, absolutely not.
That 1-3-2. Oh, here we go. Yeah, check out the night, the 1-3-2, although the 1-12 was more important to win the semi-final. The simple double 8 for his opponent. He's already missed darts, and he's had games where he's not missed doubles. He's had games where he can't hit doubles. Didn't miss a double in his opening match of the night against Robert Rickwood. The problem was he only got 2 attempts at it.
Second leg, Alexander to throw first. Game on.
That's an immediate break.
100.
Really, for the first time tonight, puts pressure on Robert Rickwood.
Exactly, because I think this is the first time all night that he's been behind in a match.
Was he 2-1 down against Merkx earlier?
Was he?
In the very first match.
Don't know, it seems like it was forever ago now.
Well, actually, it's the first time, definitely the first time today.
Today, yes.
I think he did go 2-1 down against Merkx, so Merkx has been in this kind of position before, but
140.
It's a whole different ball game, isn't it, once you get to the final?
Mm-hmm.
The winner takes home £5,000, but more importantly,
99.
gets through to Champions Week and has a chance to play for the big money, the £20,000 top prize.
$66. 88.
So Merkx first to a finish in leg 2, but Rickwood this time has kind of stayed with him.
60.
I would have hoped to have at least halved his score there.
94. W car 140.
I would not have been surprised for that first
85.
start to have
Alexander
been in the
requires
treble 20
60.
then.
Game shot
Well,
on
I'm
the
quite
second leg.
surprised
Alexander Merkx.
to find Alexander Merkx 2-0 up in this one, and it's definitely the first time that he's been 2 legs down in a match tonight, Robert Rickwood.
Third leg, Robert
So
to throw
having not
first.
been
Game
in
on.
this position before and not had to chase, it'll be interesting to see how and if he can recover from it.
Yeah, and we know that no player who's got to 3 legs has gone on to lose so far this evening. So
140.
really has to.
That is true because we've not had that 7-leg game.
Yeah, really has to start the comeback now.
140.
Just a quick reflection. We saw that lineup for next week. I had teased it earlier that I'd seen it. It is, particularly that Group A, something rather special.
100.
Martin Adams, Thibaut Treacle, Andy Hamilton, Jesus Nogueira, and Robert Thornton all in the field.
85. Robert your car 161.
It's crazy to think that there'll be like a 4th, 5th, and 6th. That one, you know, 3 of them will be 4th, 5th, and 6th in that group because you couldn't really pick who would be 4th, 5th, or 6th.
Yeah, we'll get to see them 5 days. We might not get to see much more of Robert Rickwood. That could have been as good as the end for him. But a missed start at the end of a 136 might also be as close as Alexander Merkx gets. Double 6 for Rickwood. You'd think to stay in it, and he finds it.
Robert Rickwood. Fourth leg, Alexander to throw first. Game on.
I think relieved is probably the word.
99. $55.
And that was a holder throw for Rickwood there in that leg, so he still needs to find a break somewhere if he's any chance of winning this match. And the way that Merkx is throwing at the minute, he's making it incredibly difficult for him.
125.
That was a great switch there from Merkx to leave himself a finish.
Yeah, we've seen him get better as the evening's gone on, haven't we, Alexander Merkx? That's the way to do it.
45. Alexander your car 134.
Another in there. Leaves double 16.
102. $121. Alexander your car 32. Game shot on the fourth leg. Alexander Merkx.
Well, this is interesting. Alexander Merkx, it's like kind of been unearthed a little bit here at the Super Series this week. Just looking through his record, he's played in 8 Challenge Tour events in 2019 and 2020. He did appear on a PDC European Tour event as well, and lost in the very early stages of the World Masters in 2018. Well, this could be the springboard for a real go at the game for Merkx, and we've seen that with some players. I mean, the one that springs to mind is his fellow Dutchman Jan van Veen, who I mentioned earlier tonight, went on and reached a Pro Tour final just yesterday, having won a Challenge Tour and a Development Tour since appearing at the Super Series.
Couldn't the same be said about Scott Williams as well? Didn't he go on and he won a Pro Tour without holding a tour card as well?
Absolutely, yeah. And has gone on to win the entire Challenge Tour and get into the top 64 in the world.
Without holding a tour card.
Yeah. So
which is amazing because actually he did give up his place in Champions Week to take the opportunity to go and play in the Pro Tour to try and get into that top 64.
Yeah, absolutely. Great story. And it just shows what playing in this tournament can do for players, confidence-wise, practice-wise, that competitive match practice that you can't get throwing in your kitchen or your bedroom.
No, and to some degree you don't get that same kind of high-level match practice at a lot of events either. Not that you don't get great players that turn up to events, because you do, but you find here in the Super Series that every match is a tough match because they all play to a certain standard. So you're getting that type of match practice every match that you play.
92.
Robert Rickwood has won every match he's played for the last couple of nights, but might be about to lose this one. Treble 18 would have left the bull. Is there one more rabbit in the hat for Rickwood?
Double 11. Oh, and that was not quite sure if he was going for
32.
double or the treble there, to be honest. That was a tense start. You could see that.
Is this the winning dart? No, it's not.
Oh.
Well, that's what Robert wanted.
11.
Has the opportunity to fix up, and he's going straight for double one.
Shot on the
Who
fifth leg.
do you know what?
Rickwood.
Nothing surprises me with Robert Rickwood.
Yeah, who does that? Well, the answer is Robert Rickwood, evidently. A bold move.
Sixth leg Alexander to throw first.
When on the brink of losing a final.
And says, yeah, you know what? 45. I'm going for double one.
Wow. Well, game on.
I just don't have any other words.
81.
I'm sure that if he does manage to turn this around, that's something that Henry can ask him about in the post-match interview, because that is a very unusual way to take out 11.
Let's be honest, it was downright crazy.
80.
Yeah, there's a fine line between madness and genius, but I think we're in agreement that even though it worked out, it was still madness.
45.
Yes, it was.
And he's still going, but Merkx
41.
having hit the double 11 when he wanted double 8. Match dart.
25. Yes, that was the good shot. Good ball management there to leave himself one. Are we going to see a 170 to finish off the match?
I'll check out, is it twice this week, of course?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it would be apt. It would be fitting.
100. Alexander Wilkar, 170.
Doesn't need to, though. He's going to have a 6.
Oh, he will. He will.
145.
He had to. I mean, that can't quite be described as madness, but
no.
Corin was right to say, you know, had he laid up, he'd be coming back with 3 darts now at double.
99. Alexander Wilkar, 25.
I think it's safe to say the final has been the most entertaining match of the evening. But the final is over, and Merkx is the man at the Super Series. He defeats Robert Rickwood 4-2 in a very entertaining final. Corin Hammond, let's just get your reflections on that. A worthy winner in the end?
Yeah, absolutely. He stepped up his game in those last 2 matches, and he was a worthy winner. Rickwood did drop off in his performance there. And just wasn't able to match it. So, yeah, I think Merkx is a worthy winner, absolutely.
Yeah, 92 average almost. Some brilliant stuff in there. That mad 11 checkout, a real highlight for Robert Rickwood. But his winning run comes to an end. 8 matches on the spin, ended by Merkx. Rickwood beat him 4-2 earlier in the evening. But Merkx reverses the scoreline, and he is through to Champions Week. And we can hear from him now, talking to Henry Deacon.
Chris, thank you very much indeed. Alexander Merkx, through to Champions Week on your debut week here. How do you feel?
Absolutely got no words for it, actually. Feeling great.
I mean, you've had a brilliant evening this evening, but let's go back to the final group game against Graham Hall. A winner takes all clash, and then from there it just seemed to click into gear for you.
Yeah, that game was all about nerves. For me, it was a very nervy game. But when I came over there, it got me some adrenaline and some relaxation. And after that, I played all right, I think.
Did that help you in that first semi-final against Jared Cole? Because Jared had a couple of games off. You obviously came straight from your game had about a 5-10 minute break and then came straight back on stage. Did that actually help you because you just got the adrenaline flowing through from that previous game with Graham?
Yeah, I think so. I think I got the adrenaline from that match, and that helped me to get over Jared in that match, yeah.
Then, of course, the final here against Robert, who's been on such a brilliant run up to this point. And for you, you knew how tough a matchup that was going to be.
Yeah, I lost 2 times against Robert, so I thought it's going to be a very hard game. But from the beginning, I played well, I thought. But, yeah, I got to win, so very happy.
First week here at the Super Series, you qualify for Champions Week. You're making it look a bit easy, Alex.
Yeah, it's not easy at all, but I loved it, every minute of it.
How have you found the experience over the last 6 days?
Great, great, yeah, loved it.
And I suppose now gives you the opportunity to kick on with the rest of the circuit for the rest of the year, knowing that you're going to be back here at the start of February.
Yeah, that's great.
Looking forward to Champions Week now?
Yeah, looking forward to it, yeah.
Makes the ferry home much nicer, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, Alexander Merkx, many, many congratulations. Well, he's going to remember the 5th of November because he plots his way through to Champions Week. And in week 2 here at the MODUS Super Series, Alexander was just great. We'll see you Monday morning, 9:30 for week 3.
Brought to you in association with Bet365, Betfair, Betfred, Coral, Ladbrokes, Paddy Power, Unibet and William Hill.